All right, guys, welcome to Press X Podcast, episode 74. Episode 74. Appreciate you guys waiting patiently, as always, every week. Had a new credits roll. I hope you liked it. I thought it looked pretty cool. I might have to reduce the size of the text just a little bit because there are some longer names in there that end up overlapping the Press X Podcast logo. But either way, again, thank you guys for being here. Got my... the light is a little bit extreme, as you'll notice, but it's supposed to be, emergency, stream PlayStation event. It's happening. It actually has 3 different modes. There's, just it being off. There's just the solid light. There is this, which I'll probably do this one most of the time, but in this case we'll keep it like this. So I have a little bit of a new background going. Got my Kratos display, got my old Snake Metal Gear Solid 4 canvas behind me. So yeah, I hope you guys like it. And I decided to just go full screen for the camera today. I'm working with my artist that He does stuff for the channel. Rick, shout out to Rick. He's working on some stuff, and we'll probably have like a bit of a refresh. I actually think you can see a little bit. Yeah, so we'll have a bit of a refresh. You're saying turn the light off. It's annoying. Is it annoying? I can't tell. I don't know. Guys. Should we keep the light on or should we turn it off? It is a little bright. That's the only thing about it. It's like I can't adjust the luminance. The luminant. Yeah, I guess that's how you say that. Off, little bright. Keep it solid. A lot of people are asking to put it solid, so let's see. How's that? Is that better if I just keep it solid? It is pretty bright. That's the problem with it. I was all excited. I'm like, oh, it's blue. But it's a little bright, and I'll keep it on for a little bit. I don't think it's a big deal. It gives that little blue color, so I'm going to keep it, all right? Hopefully for those who don't want it on, it won't bother you too much. Anyway, we got to get this show on the road here. So we have a lot to talk about. Today. Obviously, believe it or not, there's stuff that we're going to be talking about during the course of this podcast that I have not talked about in my videos. And I've been on kind of like an upload spree recently. So, yeah, you're asking for slow mode in the chat. Yeah, that might be necessary today. I do have 2 super chats I have to get to as well. So I'm going to enable slow mode just for the sake of everybody. Give me 1 second. I'll do 30 seconds is good. All right, so I put slow mode on for the chat, and it made my super chats disappear. Wow, that's ridiculous. That just happened. Let me see if I can find them. That is really annoying. I can't believe it just did that. All right, so I know I can read Shaky Shako. I know somebody, Siler, I think it was you that did the first super chat. If you could just, in a second, tell me what you said. Shaky Shako, hey MBG, how are you? How is the family? How is your little boy? Has he inherited your muscles and your love for video games? He's doing great. Thank you for asking. He's strong. He's getting big. He's looking pretty muscular for, for his age, man. I mean, he's small, but he's definitely got some muscle tone going on. So he's doing really good. He's healthy. Thank you for asking, man. And I think he's gonna enjoy video games. I think so. But Siler, you're saying no biggie, man. I was just saying hurry up and get on. Okay. Yeah, I apologize, dude. I don't know why it did that. It just literally wiped the super chats away, which is very strange. So I'm going to give you a breakdown of some of the topics we're going to be discussing. And before I do that, I want to give a shout out to my members. So if you want to help support the channel directly, as I always say, obviously super chats help a ton. If you want to become a channel member, it's another way for you to support me and the content I do here directly. So we have the Play Has No Limits Plus tier, which is the highest tier. So I really appreciate you guys going above and beyond to help support what I do here. So big shout out to Junior Jackson, Samuel Payne, Josh Z, Agile Ice 24, KB, Anthony Ramos, Skin Tight Salmon, PlayStation Pete, and Ray, RU46, and 2 Lopez. Thank you guys so much. We have the Play Has No Limits tier, which is the second highest tier, and obviously it's a big help as well, and I'm very appreciative of it. So shout out to Adrian D, AWS Asher, Xanakand Blitzer, Ivanoa Kachofel, Fake Manbear Pig, Avengers Endgame, Space Gambler Jr., Siler18, AJ Saeed, Rune Gasoden, JDTV, Quantum Stardust, Sir Speaks a Lot, Ashorty Faye, Ryan Butcher, Big Norman 0518, Whiskey Gaming, Shaky Shako, Tyson Webb 509, Black Manta 1989, Sane JT, Brandon Chad Perez, Adrian Lupton, and Black Waifus. So a lot of people going out of their way to support the channel. Very much appreciate it, guys. Again, can't thank you enough. So with that out of the way, we are going to discuss, obviously, the PlayStation event. It's crazy. This is the first time I can do a podcast that feels like pretty much all year where I can say, hey guys, I don't need to ask the question, when is Sony holding an event? When are they doing an event? Because we know now they're doing an event this Thursday. I think that this would be, you're saying trim up that neck beard. Yeah, no, I'm going to be trimming soon. I'm just kind of letting it grow in. The longer you let it grow in, the easier it is to kind of shape up and get it the way you want. I don't know how I catch these random comments, but yeah, we're going to be talking about this event. Obviously, there are some things that have come out. There are things that are continuing to come out. It seems like there are individuals in the know potentially who have a good idea of what is going to be shown at this event, or have some kind of idea, and they all seem to kind of say the same thing. So I just kind of want to talk about our expectations. For those wondering, obviously I'm going to be streaming the event live, and I'm probably going to go live a good hour before they, kick it off, because I'm going to have my popcorn ready, my snacks. I hope you guys are going to have your snacks ready as well, and we are going to just discuss everything that we hope to see, set some expectations. We'll watch it together. There's apparently going to be some interviews afterwards. Maybe we'll watch those together. And yeah, I think it's going to be a big deal, a big stream. So yeah, look forward to that. I'm definitely very excited. And we have iSalar, you're upgrading your membership to the Play Has No Limits Plus tier, which is the highest tier. Thank you so much for doing that, buddy. I really appreciate that, man. It goes a long way. So thank you for always supporting the channel, man. I see you here all the time, so definitely doesn't go unnoticed. Let me see. We're not just going to talk about the event. I want to talk. So this is kind of a big rumor that, unfortunately, it was kind of swept under the rug, at least from what I could tell. Even I kind of missed it because of all the stuff that's been going on. But there was a pretty significant rumor that claimed that Sony is in the process of building a AAA studio, specifically in Japan, and they're hiring some of the, top Japanese talent across the industry, from Capcom, Konami, Square Enix, and it's kind of crazy. And from what I've heard, apparently they're kind of, where this rumor is stemming from, they're kind of liking it to, or comparing it to the way Microsoft is handling their studio, The Initiative, where it's a big AAA studio. So this is definitely something we're going to want to pay attention to. I don't know how much truth there is to it. It would make a lot of sense, and it actually would explain the essential closure of what is essentially the closure and shuttering of the of Sony Japan, because they're kind of going to reallocate all those resources to building a brand new Japanese studio. So I don't know, man. It sounds like it's going to be a big deal. We're definitely going to have to talk about that. Yeah, we also do have XDev Japan as well. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to talk about the whole Horizon situation, because this is, dude, this whole situation was crazy, and I feel like it worked out good in the end, luckily. So we definitely have to talk more about that. We're going to go in depth with that. I'm sure there maybe are some people who are tuning into the podcast that are not 100% caught up with everything that's been going on, but we definitely have to dive deeper into that. And if we have time, I want to talk about some of the comments that Shawn Layden made, because Shawn Layden did an interview where he finally revealed why he left Sony, and it's pretty tame. There wasn't any drama, apparently. I don't know if I believe that entirely, but I'll put it this way. There wasn't enough drama to make Shawn Layden feel like he has to throw anybody under the bus. Apparently, he just kind of wanted to move on. He felt like he was getting too old to be, doing it, I guess. So doing what he did for PlayStation. And then finally, some maybe not so great news, if we have time for it. There's a report that has come out that claims we pretty much shouldn't expect the consoles to be abundantly available until sometime in 2023. The shortage and the scarcity issue is apparently going to remain an issue and for basically the next year, which is obviously not what we want to hear, but I think that might just be the reality of the situation. So with that being said, guys, we already have over 1,000 people here watching, which is awesome. So thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with me. We're going to dive into these topics. Before we do, make sure you hit that like button. It helps the podcast out tremendously. If you are hyped for the PlayStation event, if you're just excited, you don't have to be over the moon excited, but if you're just excited, hit that like button, show your excitement in that way. And so, have a couple super chats here. Tommy, you're saying, MBG, did you ever play Sekiro? I know you're a huge FromSoft fan, but I've never heard you even mention that game. Unfortunately for me, Sekiro is one of those games where it comes from FromSoftware, and it should be a game I played, but I haven't played it. And it's just because it didn't really speak to me in the same way that these Souls-born games do. And I looked at it, and honestly, if I gave it the time of day and took time to get into it, I'd probably love it. I heard it's extremely challenging, which doesn't surprise me. So that's a game that's still on my backlog, and maybe one day I'll get to playing it. But for now, I'm just, I feel like Elden Ring is so close. I'm just fixated on that. We'll have to see. But yeah, definitely not a game I talk about very much, even though apparently it's incredible. Zay Very Rare, you're saying, good morning, MBG. I hope you have a great day. I just wanted to drop by and let you know that whenever you get a chance, please stream more games. Well, thank you so much, man. I am having a good day. I hope everybody here is having a good day as well. So thank you for asking. And yeah, that's the thing. It's tough for me, man. Like, it's not that I don't like streaming games. It's just, for me, I don't know. Gaming is like my chill time. It's like when I'm relaxed and I just like to just let it be me and the game I'm playing, or if I'm playing with my friends sometimes. And it's not that it's bad to stream games and have an audience, but it's a different situation. I'm sure you guys understand. It's a different type of way. It's a different way of engaging with a game. That's why it's really difficult for me. I like to do it, but it is always difficult to stream a game for the first time playing it, because I'm like so focused and fixated on, knowing that there's people watching me experience this for the first time, that I pretty much am like not tuned into the game the way I feel like I should be. So I have thought about doing this. There will be those times where I'm going to have to stream a game as soon as it comes out, just show you guys my experience playing the first hour, like Horizon maybe, for example. But if I do start to stream more games going forward, it's going to be, I think, a situation where I complete the game and I just kind of play it on my own terms. And then when I am done that, and I feel like I've done everything I wanted to do on my own terms, I could maybe replay it in a stream with you guys. So yeah, we'll have to see about that. But thank you for asking, man, and I appreciate that. October's Very Own, you're saying, if a new Twisted Metal was to get announced, I would lose my mind. I would even settle for a remaster at this point. I feel like Jaffe knows something. I think David Jaffe definitely knows something. I think that, I don't know, man. I watched his follow-up video, which I may do. I was thinking about doing a reaction to it because it was very interesting, where he was sharing how he was texting, I guess, some of his friends, or one of his friends internally at Sony. He didn't reveal who it was, obviously. It was probably Corey Barlog. But it was somebody internally at Sony that knows what's going on, man. Like, he knows, he made it sound like he knows pretty much all the games that are in development, or most of them, and how far in development they are. And he was essentially teasing that, like, he discovered there's a game in development that he believes we are going to lose our minds over when it's revealed. I have to emphasize, David Jaffe did not say this game he's referring to will be announced at the upcoming event. He said he has no idea if it's going to be announced at the event. He almost made it sound like he's not expecting it at the event because it would be too much. He said there's going to be 2 big AAA titles from Sony's first party that, are going to satisfy those of us who are looking for that type of stuff. And he said the idea of having a third one, this one in particular he's talking about, seems a little bit too crazy. Destruction All-Stars 2. Yeah, that's what it is. But some of the things that David Jaffe said about it, I encourage you to go watch his video. He was basically reading his text, and he said that one of the things I caught on to was he basically said that he was surprised that the studio who's actually working on it, that they're the ones working on this specific game. you know, it's it very much he's trying to like convey something, but he's not. He's leaving out all of the important details that you would want to know. So I really don't know what it could be, guys. Like I don't know. Um, I feel like I don't know if he makes it sound like it's not a new IP. That's the one thing I got from it, where like he kind of made it sound like um, it's kind of like something that people already know about, as in like the IP itself, but people aren't expecting a game from it or expecting it to return. I don't know, man. It sounds like it's going to be exciting. Um, DDP54, you're saying I got a positive shout out from Destin. Did I? I didn't know that. Yeah, Destin seems like a cool guy. I've come across his channel. I know he's more Xbox centric, but he's pretty. You know, I think he does good content. I didn't know he gave me a positive shout out though. So I don't know if Destin listens to this, but thank you, man, for doing that. I appreciate it. It's always nice to get something like that. So he's saying Jack and Daxter. Yeah, I don't know, dude. So we're gonna dive into that. I want to talk about some of the games that we're like. I feel like there's a set of games that people 100% expect to see at the event, like to show up. But then there's a whole list of games that I feel like are more up in the air and people like hope to see. Like there was apparently that guy Special Nick, if you know him. He's a pretty reliable insider, I'd say, when it comes to PlayStation. One of the only ones, seemingly. He was saying that he doesn't know for sure, and he doesn't want people to take it as confirmation because he doesn't know. But what he was told, and he just doesn't believe it, and he has to take it with a grain of salt. He wasn't shown proof. So apparently, Infamous is going to be showing up at this event in some way, shape, or form. But I have to tell you guys, he cautioned everybody to relax. He's not entirely sure, and that's like, I don't know, man. Like that's crazy. Like who is doing Infamous? Is it a collection? Is it a remaster? A new game? I don't know, man. What I do know is a lot of people have been asking for Infamous to return, so I think that would be a pretty big deal. Give me one sec, guys. I gotta check something important on my phone. I apologize, but it is important. All right. I was just checking the weather, what's going on. It's been some crazy weather around here lately, and you know, I've been getting notifications on my phone and stuff, so I was just making sure. I hear like a siren like outside, and I'm like, should I be aware of something? So a little bit paranoid, in case you can't tell. But I appreciate all the compliments, by the way, on the new background. I'm glad you guys like it. I like the big God of War banner that I've had for a long time, but I feel like it's you know, I like to change it up sometimes. So I got this new old snake wall art, so I definitely want to show that off. But yeah, let me see here. I got a couple more super chats. Yeah, so October's very own, you were talking about Twisted Metal. Yeah, I don't know, man. Apparently it's in development. I don't know. Apparently it's in development. Primal Plasma, you're saying drinking coffee from my rant juice mug. I'm ready. Oh, that's awesome, man. Thank you for buying a mug. I appreciate that. Tommy, you're saying, are we really going to ignore that this will be the first major PlayStation event where MBG has a face cam? Is it? Is it the first? Well, I feel like I've been doing the face cam for a while. Did I have a face cam last September? I probably didn't. No, I didn't, because I remember my big face reveal was for the PS5 unboxing. So, dude, you're right. You're right. And could you imagine, wouldn't it be so perfect if this... You guys are saying no? I feel like it is. Unless if you're counting the state of plays, then technically, yeah, I was on camera. But I don't think I was actually... Yeah, I don't think I've ever been on camera for like a proper PlayStation event. Wouldn't it be crazy if this is the event where Metal Gear something gets announced? Dude, you're going to see me lose my mind. I'm telling you, guys are not, I'm not going to be ready, dude. The emotions are going to be there in force if Metal Gear shows up at this event. I'm trying real hard not to expect that. I really am, because I feel like I've been waiting for something Metal Gear, like a Metal Gear remake from Blue Point, a Metal Gear collection. At this point, screw it, Metal Gear Solid 6 from one of Sony Studios, whatever it may be. I feel like I've been waiting for it for so long that I just don't want to assume it's going to be there, because that's just too much, But obviously, I'm secretly hoping that it's going to be there. I really am, man. Like, I had to make sure to get Old Snake up there behind me, because I'm just like, yeah, dude, MGS multiplayer, underrated, man. Siler, again, you're saying I see an empty spot for another poster behind you. Abby would be a great addition. Just saying, LL. Look, I'm gonna be honest. Like, that's not a character I would ever put up on my wall, just because I'm not a fan of Abby as a character. I'm not. I know that they tried to make me like her, but I couldn't. I don't know. To me, I'm all about Joel and Ellie, and if I was going to put anything up behind me, it'd probably be of Joel and Ellie, most likely. But yeah, I see you trolling, Siler. The Cape Crusader MBG. What are your thoughts on Horizon Forbidden West Regala Edition selling out in just a few hours? It's not surprising to me, man. It's not surprising at all. Horizon Forbidden West is one of the most anticipated games of 2022, and I knew the second that collector's edition went up, it was going to be sold out. I didn't even try to get it. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the collector's edition. I think it's cool, but I just don't think that I would want something like that. It's definitely pricey. And so I just kind of felt like, because I'm unsure of it, I'd rather just let those who really want it get it. Like, I don't want to be fighting for something that I'm unsure if I actually want it. I'm going to wait to see what other collector's editions Sony releases. But yeah, I'm not surprised that it sold out within hours. I don't know if you I'm assuming you're saying that in a way where it's like it's sold out really quickly. I feel like a few hours sounds like a long time. I feel like that's actually a long time for a collector's edition to be up. But yeah, I'm not surprised, man. Parasolo, you're saying a new Metal Gear would be sick. Yeah, dude. I just, there have been so many rumors about a Metal Gear remake of some sort, or a collection of games coming from Blue Point. And I remember there were some people who apparently knew what was going on, and they're like kind of talking about it, and they're like, look, this remake or whatever it is that Blue Point's doing with Metal Gear, it's much more than just a traditional remake. It's like more than just a remaster. Like, they're going above and beyond, and man, like, I don't know. That would be a dream come true. I know people are like, oh, how can you be that excited over a remake? But it's like, dude, I just feel like if Metal Gear were to come back in any way, it coming back in the form of a full-blown remake underneath Blue Point, I mean, I feel like that's perfect. I always said this, guys. I said, could you imagine if Metal Gear Solid 6, I have to say it again, could you imagine if Metal Gear Solid 6 were to be a thing that was announced, and they say Blue Point Games is making it, and the reason why they're calling it Metal Gear Solid 6 is because it's actually a full-blown remake of the original MSX Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2. Could you imagine that? Like, and they're put together as one big remake, and they call it Metal Gear Solid 6, and they kind of, maybe Kojima is giving a little bit of guidance with that. That would be crazy. See, this is why I can't talk about this stuff, because I literally dive headfirst into La La Land, into Dreamland, where it's like, hey guys, don't expect your dream announcements to come true at this event. Meanwhile, I'm over here. Let me tell you about my dream announcements that I hope to hear about. Black Manta, you're saying, did you get a chance to check out the trailer for Project Magnum 1 million views? Sony dropped it out of the blue. Although I actually haven't seen that. Did they drop it today, or is it, I'm assuming 1 million views, it's maybe a couple days old. I'll have to check it out. Project Magnum. I have no idea what it could be, but I'll have to check it. Reyes, you're saying MGS Remake and God of War for the Thursday event. I mean, God of War is going to be there. There's no question about it. God of War is going to be there. GTA 5, Dylan, you're saying GTA 5 Remastered will be on the showcase and God of War as well. Actually, I think Tom Henderson, who is an extremely reliable insider, he doesn't usually cover PlayStation related stuff, but he has been talking a little bit about some GTA stuff. He said that GTA 5, the remaster or the enhanced and extended edition or whatever it's called, it's not going to be at this event. And I got to tell you, I really hope that's true. I don't want to see GTA at this event unless it's GTA 6 or the GTA Remaster Collection. I don't need to see GTA 5 take a spot within this 40-minute showcase. Even if it's just 2 minutes, I don't care. I know what GTA 5 is. Please, God, do not put this in your showcase. Like, I don't want to see GTA again. So I hope what he's saying is true. That's one of the things that I hope isn't there. A lot of people have been saying, like, oh, is, Kojima's Death Stranding trailer going to be there? It's nothing against Death Stranding. It's nothing against Kojima. I don't want it to be there because it's a Kojima trailer. It's going to be quite long. We don't need... And Deathloop. Yeah, I'm just being honest. Like, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Deathloop, Death Stranding Director's Cut, GTA 5. These are things we don't need to be there. And I hope they're not because we've seen enough of it. We don't need that to take up any time at this event because 40 minutes is not, it's enough. It's more than enough time to make some big announcements, but it's definitely on the shorter side. Like, it's not like an hour, it's not an hour and a half, it's 40 minutes. So you want every minute of that show to be something worthwhile. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm hoping. I hope they don't spend too much time, if any at all, kind of focusing on announcements and things we already know about. That's not why I'm tuning into this show. I honestly can't stand that about events. I understand that it's like a necessary thing for Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo to do it, but like, I just can't stand when I'm tuning into an event and I'm just seeing something where it's like we know about this. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to hear about it again. We don't need to see it again. I just don't like that type of stuff. So you're saying you disagree? Rockstar's a huge partner for Sony. I mean, they are, but it's like, come on, man. Like, we got to see some new stuff. And I'm sorry, GTA 5, even I think the people who were like on board with that and they're like hyped, like, I can't wait to play GTA 5 on my PS5. Even those people I think can agree, like, it's GTA 5. Like, we've been there, done that. You know what I mean? Let's make room for the new stuff. That's how I feel. You say they're going to open with GTA 5. Well, if they're going to do it, then just get it out of the way quick. We see we got Bruce, you're saying, get ready for the Alan Wake remaster announcement. Yeah, so that seems to be a thing that's real, and it's going to be announced this Thursday at the event. An Alan Wake remaster. It's launching apparently on October 5th, so it's right around the corner. But what's interesting to me about that is the fact that it's going to be announced at a PlayStation event. It's pretty ironic considering, Alan Wake was an Xbox exclusive. We know that Remedy now owns the rights to it. Microsoft has nothing to do with Alan Wake anymore. So who knows? Maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know how big of an announcement that would be. That would be pretty cool though. I've never played Alan Wake, but it was definitely a game I was always interested in. So I may have to check that out. I know a lot of people are excited about it. Excuse me. Bold Brew, you're saying a new Uncharted may be the surprise game shown. A new Uncharted. Yeah, that would be pretty crazy. I think there's no doubt people would be excited for a new Uncharted. I gotta be honest, like, that would be exciting to me, but not as exciting. It's just because I like Uncharted, but I just feel like, I don't know. I'm not saying Uncharted shouldn't come back. I'm mainly saying that because Uncharted is going to come back no matter what. It's one of Sony's strongest properties. It would be like Microsoft just being like, we're not going to bring Halo back because we feel like it's been around too long. Like, they're not. It's Uncharted, but I do feel that Uncharted 4 was a great ending, and I feel that what they did with Lost Legacy was, I haven't played it, but it seemed like it was pretty solid. So it's like, I don't know. It wouldn't be disappointing. I know I'm making it sound like I would be disappointed, but it would just be like, oh, it's Uncharted. You know what I mean? Like, Uncharted's back, and that's fine, But I guess it's just, it feels a little soon to me. That's all. I don't know. You're saying don't say anything negative about Uncharted. I'm not saying anything negative about Uncharted. In fact, like I can confidently say that if a new Uncharted was announced, people would hit the roof. I'm just saying, I'm just speaking for me. For me personally, I feel like I would be okay waiting longer for Uncharted to come back. That's all, you know? And I'd actually rather see a new IP announced than Uncharted. That's just how I personally feel. But I don't know. Then again, Lost Legacy, what? They just said that was 4 years old, so I don't know. I get it. What? Uncharted 4 came out in 2016. Now that I'm thinking about it, actually, maybe it isn't too soon. That's a long time. So I don't know. We'll see. I guess the real question for me is like, what would they do with the next Uncharted? You know what I mean? To me, that's the question. I'm unsure of like what direction would they go in. So I guess that really depends on how they handle that. But apparently there's going to be an Uncharted collection. Now, here's the thing that I don't know if this is true. Apparently there's going to be an Uncharted collection where it features all 4 games, and maybe, I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know if any of this is true. Apparently it might include Lost Legacy as well, and it's going to be in one big bundle, and it's going to release on PC this year. Now, I heard, and I have no idea if this is true, I heard that they're going to release it on PS5 later, sometime in early 2022. I do not like that. I feel like if it would be a pretty bad thing, in my opinion, for Sony to announce a collection like that at a Sony event, at a PS5 event, and be like, PC's getting it first. I really hope that's not the case, because that's like, what? Like, I know we're still getting it, but what? That would just be a mistake, in my opinion, if they announce that it's releasing on both PS5 and PC. But I'm going to be real with you guys. Like, I don't know. I'm going to ask you guys, because maybe I'm just not the best person to talk about Uncharted. I need to ask you guys, how would you feel about an Uncharted collection like that being announced for PS5 and PC? Like, is that something that you would consider like a big announcement? Is that something you would be excited about? Like, you'd be like, I'm buying this day one. I just, because I'm not sure about that. You know, I feel like I don't know. I feel like Uncharted 4, I would love to see what that would look like on the PS5, but I feel like people just kind of want a 60 FPS. A lot of you guys are saying no. Some people are saying yes. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I'm feeling, where I'm like, it would be a cool announcement if they keep it short and it's just like, it just takes up like 2 minutes of the show where it's like, here's the Uncharted collection coming to PC and PS5, all games enhanced, remastered to take advantage of the PS5 and whatnot. I'd be like, okay, that's cool. You know, and if it's releasing at the end of this year, that's cool. You know, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's the worst thing ever, but I probably wouldn't be interested in it. I feel like people would almost be like, you know, again, it's a tough thing, because it's like, I know people are gonna be like, dude, how can you be excited for a Metal Gear remake but not an Uncharted remastered collection or something? It's because I feel like they're two different things. You know, we're talking about a game that, like, what, the last time we saw Metal Gear, anything done in Metal Gear Solid 1 was with the Nintendo GameCube. To whereas I feel like Sony literally just released a collection, the Nathan Drake collection, you know, last gen on the PS4. So I feel like it's a little bit different. Let's see, we have Zanarkand Blitzer, you're saying MBG hoping for an MGS1 remake announcement. Still got my PS1 copy of MGS1, PS2 copies of MGS2 and MGS3, and PS3 MGS4 copy. That's awesome, man. Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It's difficult for me to talk about Metal Gear because it's just, it's difficult for me to talk about it because it just turns into a conversation that it just becomes wishful thinking on my part, where it's like, it's difficult for me to talk about it more objectively because I absolutely want it to be a real thing. I believe it's a real thing, and I'll believe it forever, even if it never gets announced. But that's awesome, man. I'm hoping for it too. Kendallfire22, you're saying the surprise game is an Uncharted kart racer developed by Polyphony Digital. Please, God, no. Please, God, no. Do not ever. That sounds like a nightmare announcement, dude. Like, when he says people are going to lose their effing minds, little did we know he actually meant in a bad way. This is in a bad way. People are gonna lose their minds. They're gonna freak out. They're gonna scream at Sony. Yeah, dude. Maxwell, you're saying, what if they opened with a 3-minute trailer for GTA 5 and then a 1-minute teaser for GTA 6 first on PS5? Oh my God. Dude. Well, first of all, that's not going to happen. I just want to make it clear, Maxwell, that's not going to happen. But if it were to happen, it's over. It's absolutely, just a GTA 6 first on PS5, it's not going to happen. But if it were to happen, it's over. Sony literally wins the generation at that point. It's over. Nobody can do anything. Microsoft couldn't do anything unless Microsoft bought Take-Two Interactive. That would be the only way. So yeah, but GTA 6 probably won't be revealed for another couple years. And I don't know, man. I just kind of don't care at this point because it's so far away. I'll be excited when they're ready to show it, but a lot of the top talent that was responsible for the GTA games is no longer there. I think a lot of people don't know that. And I just have to kind of, make it known that between that and just how far away it is, yeah, I don't know. Magnum Visuals, you're saying we may see Bug Snacks 2 just because it became a meme with a slightly bigger budget. Who knows, man? It could be. It could be a thing. Mr. Banks, you're saying we need God of War or Last of Us 2 factions. I think we're going to get both. And then we have OK Kapapa saying, how about Days Gone 2? Cheers. Yeah, I don't think so, man. Sony Bend is working on a new IP. They're in the very, very early phase of working on a new IP. Like, they're probably still trying to figure out exactly what the game's going to be. So I wouldn't expect to see Bend Studio at this event. But with that being said, I'm going to tell you about a couple of the things that I think. Let's talk about some of the stuff that I feel like will for sure show up or they have a very, very good chance of showing up. First and foremost, I'm positive we're going to see more Horizon Forbidden West. I don't think it's going to be like a 10-minute gameplay demo. I think we're just going to get a new trailer for Horizon Forbidden West. So I'm expecting that. And I think that it'll be a solid trailer. I think it'll have a mix of cinematic and gameplay. It could be like 2-3 minutes long. I fully expect that to be what we get for Horizon. God of War. Now, I don't know if Sony's going to open with God of War or if they're going to close with God of War. I don't think it matters. I think God of War is going to bring the house down. Now, here's the question I have for you guys. Okay, I know God of War is going to be there. When I say I know, I don't mean like I was told, but we know God of War is going to be there. The question I have is, do you think there's anything that could show up at this event that could potentially be on the same level as God of War or possibly be bigger or more exciting than God of War? And I hate to say this because I make it sound like let's establish one thing here. God of War, I think I don't know. God of War is going to be the only thing God of War is lacking this time around. And I know it sounds like I'm speaking negatively, and I'm not. But you have to admit this. The only thing God of War is lacking this time around that won't be here, and it was there for the reveal of God of War 2018, is if you go back to the reveal of God of War 2018, dude, people had no clue they just had no idea. It was like a shocker. People were like, holy, you know what I mean? Like nobody was anticipating it. Meanwhile, this time, I mean, we all kind of have an expectation, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that inherently, I don't want to say it reduces it, but it's because we already have like kind of an idea in our mind what the God of War sequel is going to be like. It makes me wonder, could there be something that, I don't know. Maybe that's not a conversation worth having, because what I do know is that God of War is going to be trending. God of War is going to be, I don't know, man. It's Kratos. It's God of War. I think that he's going to tear the competition in two. That's how I feel like he's going to literally just rip the competition in half. Unless, I don't know. The only way I could see things going wrong for God of War is if they show the first God of War trailer and people are like, what did they do? You know what I mean? Like if they just make some crazy turn that nobody expected, and it'd be like have a Last of Us 2 situation all over again. But I don't think that'll happen. I hope something like that doesn't happen. I'm hoping the God of War reveal is just clean and just, just as good as I imagine it in my head, which I think I have pretty reasonable expectations. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't. You're saying SOCOM will be crazier than God of War? Yeah, dude, is SOCOM gonna show up? I know God of War is gonna show up, but is SOCOM? I mean, let's be honest, guys. Guerrilla Games, as I said, they have a second team. Guerrilla Games has a second team that's been working on a shooter since 2018. Since 2018, and we haven't heard or seen a thing. I think the time has come. Guerrilla Games, they're going to show off what they're working on. A lot of people think it's a SOCOM game. Some people want it to be Killzone. I don't think it's Killzone. It could be. It very well could be. But a lot of people are thinking it's SOCOM. SOCOM would be huge. That'd be great. So, yeah, I don't think SOCOM would be better than God of War. I don't think that. Maybe for some people. I mean, I imagine there are some PlayStation fans who care more about SOCOM than God of War. I mean, let's just face it. Not every single PlayStation fan is as into God of War as maybe we are. But SOCOM would still be awesome. SOCOM would be awesome. Magnum Visuals are saying, would it make sense for Sony to acquire Mortal Kombat's WB to obtain the IP since they now own Evo? I think it actually would make sense. Yeah, that actually would be an acquisition that makes a lot of sense. Not only that, but I mean, Mortal Kombat is a pretty beloved IP, and they always do a good job with their releases. So, yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense. I don't know that that's going to happen, but it would make a lot of sense. iSiler18 again, you're saying Hassan will be there. You can't, dude. iSiler, you keep trying to, troll me here. Saying anyway, Spidey 2 and Final Fantasy 7 Part 2 have a possibility of being there. It's wild. That's true. That's actually true. I think, yeah, a lot of people are thinking that Spider-Man 2 is going to show up. And I feel like, yeah, it would. I think it would only show up in the form of a tease. I don't think it would show up in the form of like a full trailer or anything like that. Reyes, you're saying Legacy of Kain? I don't know. I think that there are a lot of games that people, as I said, they want. Like people are saying they want to see Sly Cooper, they want to see Jack and Daxter, they want to see Twisted Metal, SOCOM. Shamel, you're saying, to be honest, I hope we see Hogwarts. That'd be a big surprise. So I do want to say that's, I think, the big question I have right now when it comes to this 40-minute showcase. Knowing it's 40 minutes long, I really wonder how much third party is going to be there. You know what I mean? Because I'm just going to be honest. I hope that most of the third party that's there, if not all of the third party that's there, is third party exclusivity, even if it's timed. You know what I mean? I kind of don't want anything in this showcase to be shown off that's multi-plat. I really don't. I don't want to see. I know I'm just being a little bit selfish here, and maybe I'm being unrealistic, but I'm being honest. Like, I don't want to tune in to a PlayStation event to see a multi-plat game. I just don't. At this point, considering how long Sony goes kind of being quiet and just being silent, I feel like it's imperative that when they do have these moments and they have these events, like, they have to hit hard, man. And they have to have just pretty much all eyes, all focus squarely on exclusives, and their first party and their partners. Not third party partners, but exclusivity partners. I really believe that. But with that being said, do I expect that there won't be third party games? No, I fully expect 100% that there's going to be a pretty decent amount of third-party multi-plat games. People are hoping we see Forspoken. I think we could see Forspoken. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen it. Factions 2. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think the time has come. I think the time has come for Naughty Dog to reveal this multiplayer game that they've been working on. I really do. I think we'll see 2 multiplayer games revealed. I think we'll see Guerrilla Games, their multiplayer title, and I think we'll see Naughty Dog's. Maybe not. I don't want to get ahead of myself. That would be a lot, but I feel like we've been talking about them for a long time. Magnum Visuals, you're saying Sony doesn't need to copy Game Pass. They just need to keep giving out free monthly PS Plus games. No, I don't think so. Sony doesn't need to copy Game Pass. They absolutely don't. Sony has no reason to copy Game Pass, mainly because what they're doing is working for them. And Game Pass has yet to prove itself to be, that big, super future-proof thing that, like, I know people talk about it, and the thing about Game Pass is it has just so much positivity and goodwill behind it. But the reality of the situation is we don't know when it's going to become profitable for Microsoft. The truth is Microsoft can wait as long as they need to. But that, there's a myriad of reasons that Sony doesn't need to make a Game Pass and why they probably won't. And I do believe that if Sony were to ever feel like they have to, I think that they would try to strike like a partnership with Netflix or something and try to find a way to like kind of immediately inflate, this to like balloon it very quickly to where it's like, whoa, like, Sony just did their own version of Game Pass and they did it in a way where it's like, it's now even bigger than Game Pass. You know what I mean? But I don't think they need to, nor do I think they should. That's just my opinion on it. Like, I know people are like, what, you don't want to get games for free or for cheap? No, I don't. I don't want to pay $10 for my games and to gain access to them. I just don't. I want to buy my games. I want to own my games. And most importantly, I want to know and feel confident. This is the key word. I want to feel confident that when I pay a $70 price point for a game, I know that when I'm paying that, what I'm getting in return, there's no question about it. Quality. It's going to be quality. It's going to be substantial. It's going to be a premium steak dinner at a 5-star restaurant, essentially. That's what I'm trying to say. So I feel like if I was part of a subscription service where they just throw in games in there and I can gain access to them for $10, I feel a lot less confident. I'm not saying that doesn't mean the games couldn't be good. I'm not saying it. But yeah, you're saying Imagine Destruction All-Stars at $70. Yeah, I don't know. What was up with that, dude? Like, that's the kind of stuff that makes me a little bit nervous. But, they did the right thing. They made it like $20, which is appropriately priced for sure. But that's the thing is, like, I don't know. You're saying Godfall was not a steak dinner. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make it sound like every single game that Sony, markets, like Godfall was not a Sony game. Whoever at Sony thought that it would be a good idea to make that game exclusive, they made a mistake. You know what I mean? Based off of what I could tell. So it's not like everything's going to be perfect. But I'll tell you this. When it comes to Sony's first-party internal studios, I have an expectation. And I think Sony knows what that expectation is. Sometimes their partners, I think it can be a hit or miss. But more often than not, I think that they do a pretty good job. Anyway, getting me going on a tangent here about... We see Nintendo Power, you're saying Sony's giving free PS4 to PS5 upgrade for Horizon. I'm aware. I have a video out there. I uploaded 3 videos yesterday, which I never, ever do. So, yeah, go check that out. Andreas, you're saying, do you think we'll see the rumored Twisted Metal, Wipeout, Sly Cooper, or From Software game? I think it's possible we could see any one of those. Wipeout, I'm going to say no, because I think that's going to be intertwined with PlayStation VR 2, so I think it'll be saved for that. Sly Cooper, I think it's possible. Twisted Metal, I also think is possible. The From Software exclusive game, I think we're going to get Bloodborne Remastered revealed at this event. I do. I think that the time has come, and Bloodborne Remastered, depending on how much is done to it, is something I think I'll definitely be excited about. I would love to be able to experience Bloodborne on the PS5, taking full advantage of it. I don't think that means that we're going to get a Bloodborne 2. I think that, I think if Sony were to announce that, basically the question that people are going to ask is, so does this mean you're still working with FromSoft? I think the answer to that's going to be, yeah, we're still working with FromSoft. Of course Sony's still working with FromSoft. Kidding me? Ivanol, you're saying... Oh, wait, hold on. I missed one before that. Okay, Kapapa, you're saying, how about a Sony exclusive Max Payne 4? More pain after announcing Remedy purchase. Oh, dude. I mean, look, Rockstar is the owner of the Max Payne IP. Max Payne 3, one of the most underrated games ever made. Max Payne 3 is incredible, and to get a Max Payne 4, that would be awesome. I see somebody saying Resident Evil 4 remake. Oh, that would be big too. I mean, that would be big for a third party. What if Sony came out and was like, we're going to have timed exclusivity on RE4 remake? Ooh, that would be a big one, right? What about Abandoned? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know what to make of it. They put out an FAQ, and it's like it just doesn't really make anything that clear in a way, you know. Ivan Oil saying just one MGS remake to appear at the showcase. Me too, man. I'm really hoping for it. Mr. Banks, you're saying let's get a Returnal DLC. That would be pretty surprising. Returnal was incredible. I put over 100 hours into the game. It would be nice to get a DLC. So yeah, that would be great. I would love to see a Returnal DLC. Space D, you're saying the hype of Jaffe is 100% a new twisted metal. It could, yeah, dude, it could be. I think that would, I don't know. Would people lose their effing minds? Would people lose their effing minds if it was a new Twisted Metal? I don't know about that, man. I could be wrong, but let me see. Got Brett Williams, you're saying I think we're getting one unknown brand new IP. That's the thing here is I feel like Sony is kind of known to show off new IP to the point where it's kind of an expectation. I feel like there needs to be, well, that's the thing is like, I don't know, at this point in time, yeah, I don't know. I think a new IP needs to be present. I would be okay with if we didn't get a new IP, but instead we basically get the return of an old dormant IP. It's obviously not the same, but I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that. A return of an old dormant IP that we just maybe weren't expecting or we're just hoping for, but didn't realistically expect on top of God of War. Yeah, I'd be cool with that, man. That would be good to me. Let me see. We have Thermal. You're saying Spider-Man 2 since No Way Home comes out this December? Yeah, dude, that would be yeah, dude. I don't know. That would be the right time. I think we're gonna get a Spider-Man 2 tease. I don't think it's gonna be a full reveal or trailer. Could you imagine if we just got a full Spider-Man 2 trailer? That would, I mean, I would honestly be afraid at that point, like a full God of War trailer and a full Spider-Man 2 trailer. That's like, come on, man. That's too much at one time. Give us some breathing room here. But it would make sense. They do have the Spider-Man movie coming out. So Shaky Shako, you're saying God, this is annoying. Oops. Put this new lock screen on my phone and it's a pain. Shaky Shako, you're saying, I have to go, MBG. I have to catch a movie with my brother. I will watch the stream later. Have a great day/night, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time to hang out with me, man. I really appreciate it. Go enjoy your movie. I appreciate you could just spend some time here. By the way, with that being said, guys, we have 1,600 people here. Please hit the like button. We could easily get to 1,000 likes in no time if everybody just takes a second to hit the like button. It really helps the channel more than you know. Helps the stream. Magnum Visuals are saying it would make sense for Sony to revive Battle Arena to Shonen for Evo. I don't know what that game is. I'm not familiar with that. So I wish I could speak more on it, but I have no idea what that game is. Mr. Unknown, you're saying Norman Reedus posted a Silent Hill trailer on his Instagram. Dude, yeah, come on, man. Like, what is that? Like, I'm tired of this. Everybody's like, oh, he's just being his old self. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm tired of the trolling, man. Like, just don't do it. Don't mess with us like that. It's not fair. I thought the timing of it was great. Like, it's one of those things where Norman Reedus is either very aware of all the conversations that have been going on and the rumors, and he's like, yeah, I'll just mess with them a little bit. Or he's completely unaware and has absolutely no idea. And he's just like, oh, this is cool. And he puts it out there. And he's like making people lose their minds without even knowing. You see Space D, you're saying that's Jaffe for you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow Jaffe too much. I I don't know. Like I said in my video where I covered what he said, I'm trying not to get people overly excited, but I don't know, man. Like when I hear somebody who has contacts at Sony say you guys are gonna lose your effing minds with this game reveal whenever it happens, it's like I'm gonna be excited. It might turn out to be a game that I'm just not interested in, but until I know that and I see it, I can't help but be excited at that notion. You know what I mean? Do I have any inside info? I do not. If I did, maybe I'd share it, but if I did, I probably wouldn't share it. But I would probably tell you I have info and that I wouldn't share it, but I can confidently tell you that I have no inside info. I'm just I don't I'm just not one of those people, you know, and I don't think anybody goes to me and being like, yo, MBG, I got the scoop for you. Let me tell you. Like, I'm just not, I don't know how people do that. Like, I don't know how people get contacts and they just are able to be fed information. That's never happened to me. Like, I've never had somebody just like message me or email me and be like, I can prove to you this and that, and I'll give you info. Not that, and I'm not saying I even want that because I kind of don't want things ruined for me. Like I'll follow the rumor mill and see what people are saying, but I don't want to know everything. You know what I mean? Because part of the fun, in my opinion, is trying to figure out, you know, and speculating and predicting. Jay Savage, you're saying Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is what I want to see. As I said, man, I think we're going to get a glimpse of it. I wouldn't be shocked if we did. I mean, it would be shocking, yeah, in an exciting way, but I'd be like, yeah, this seems like the right time for Sony to tease it out. iSolid18, you're saying the return of Max Payne and Resistance, please. So there was another rumor going around, and guys, I'm going to have to refer to the chat on this one. Please let me know. Let me know how you would feel about this. Apparently, there's a rumor. I don't think there's any credible source. It's just a rumor that popped up claiming that there was going to be a Resistance collection for Resistance 1 and 2. I don't know why they wouldn't include 3. And it's not going to include multiplayer. Would that sound like, to me, that almost sounds disappointing, right? You're saying that was fake. Yeah, that sounded totally fake. I'm like, that just doesn't sound good at all. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I don't think anybody would be excited for that. Maybe I'm wrong, though. You're saying you would love that? You're not sure? Yeah, I guess in a way it would be like people would just be happy at the idea of like, oh my God, Resistance is back. But it's like, you're not including 3 and you're not including multiplayer. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't multiplayer kind of a big deal with Resistance? That was like one of the bigger aspects of the game that kind of drew people to it. So saying Resistance to 8-player co-op was amazing. That would be a huge disappointment. Yeah, I kind of figured that. So let's hope that that one was fake, right? I feel like if Resistance does come back in any way, shape, or form, people kind of want the whole thing, you know? Give us the whole package. But yeah, Max Payne would be crazy. It'd be shocking to see Max Payne show up at a PlayStation event. Stephen Wade, you're saying if you watch David Jaffe's YouTube channel, he said it's 3 games and it sounds like it's not Metal Gear Solid or Silent Hill. So yeah, that's the thing is like for everything David Jaffe has been saying, he did confirm that none of the stuff he's talking about is MGS or Silent Hill. Makes me a little bit, you know, I don't want to say nervous, but like it's making me think maybe I shouldn't expect Metal Gear or anything Konami related at all at this event. I'm going to go into this event like being totally honest right now. And that's true. He did say he doesn't know everything. He was just talking about the stuff he knows about. I'm going to go into this event. Hold on one second. Can you guys get out? Like my cats, they just come over here and they start doing some weird stuff literally right next to me. Do you guys not see I'm doing a podcast? Please, get out. Go. They do this every stream, man. Every stream. It's funny too because it sounds like I'm a raging cat owner. Like I just rage at my cats. I swear it's not always like that. It's just it's almost like they're trolling me. So like they literally start fighting next to me. I'm like, guys, chill. But yeah, I'm gonna go into this event. Honestly, I'm not going to expect anything Konami related. It would be amazing if we did get something Konami related, like Metal Gear, Silent Hill, or anything, but I'm honestly not going to expect it. My expectation is going to be geared purely towards Sony's first-party studios and seeing what they have on offer, and maybe some third-party partnerships as well. And Konami could be that, but it just, I don't know, man. I feel like it's best I just go in with, I don't want to say lower expectations, but just not expecting specifically those like dream reveals or whatever. You know what I mean? Because my focus, I want to focus on God of War. You know, I want to focus on Horizon. I want to focus on the more tangible stuff right now. But I'm always, you know, I'm obviously open to being surprised. So, Sir Holmes, you're saying Friday, the video game, where you play as Smokey and Craig. Yeah. Corey Downing, you're saying MGS or God of War Bluepoint acquisition. Yeah, dude, actually that's a good I totally forgot. Isn't Sony supposed to announce the acquisition of Bluepoint at some point? Well, wasn't that a thing that was supposed to happen? Stiff Meister, you're saying another Hogwarts Legacy trailer, maybe. I think considering how successful that reveal was, I think like the trailer on PlayStation's YouTube channel has like 20 million plus views, which is insane. Yeah, I think we're gonna get another Hogwarts Legacy trailer for sure. I just think it's, you know, it's clear that they should show it off again. Even though I'm not about third-party reveals, I think it makes sense. JDTV, you're saying, what about PlayStation Home? Maybe it shows up. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's been some talk about PlayStation Home. I don't know. Would it show up from or would it show up at a dedicated PlayStation event that's 40 minutes? Maybe. I have a question I want to ask you guys when I'm done going through these super chats. Remind me in the chat if I forget to ask the question, because I always get sidetracked. Actually, I'm almost done here. Einstein, you're saying, did you see the trailer for Project Magnum? Did they just drop this trailer? Like, when did this trailer go out? Because you're the second person to mention that. I'm like kind of curious about it now, because you guys are saying it looks really good on Thursday. I definitely missed it. I'm going to have to check it out, because that's the second person that told me about it. So I'll have to check out the trailer, man. React to it live. Yeah, maybe we could do that. Dr. Stump, you're saying abandoned at the event, LOL. You're saying 2 days ago. Remember, MVG, remember. Okay, 2 days ago. Okay, so the question I want to ask you guys is this, and I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. I'm just genuinely curious what you guys think about this. So there were a lot of people, or at least quite a few people from what I could tell, that they were saying Sony's not going to do an event this year, that it's over. Like, Sony's just going to chill and they're just going to do blog posts and that's it. And I was kind of like, well, yeah, I could see that, but I always maintain the idea that I think it's more realistic that Sony, I think, wants to do something. Like, I think they know it's in their best interest. Like, you're going to want to do something because people are really unsure about what the next year ahead for PS5 looks like. And that's why I always said, like, we still have September and we have December. The reason why I say December is because of, PlayStation Experience. Sony trademarked PlayStation Experience earlier this year. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the first time they trademarked it since the last time they did one, which was in 2018, I believe. So I guess the question I have for you guys is, do you think Sony could do this 40-minute event and then still do a PlayStation Experience event? Do you think that if they are planning a PlayStation Experience event at the end of the year, there's a chance they're going to kind of hold back on some of the stuff that they show off here? Maybe they'll tease some stuff that they plan to really kind of show more of at a PlayStation Experience. I think that's a possibility. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. I'm just saying, like, it is interesting to me that mainly the length of the show. I'm trying not to equate length with quality in terms of like how big of an impact the show could have, but it's just Sony's been quiet for so long. I feel like 40 minutes, I don't know. I don't know that 40 minutes is enough to really kind of have that impact, but it's hard to say because, yeah, that's true. You're saying don't forget there is more after the 40-minute show. That's true. They are going to do they are going to do like not a Q&A, but like interviews with the developers. I want to say this too real quick. I know that there's a lot of people who think there's no way Sony would do a PlayStation experience after doing this event in September. I do need to let you guys know that, Sony last year, they had their PS5 event. It was an hour. Well, wasn't it like an hour and a half long? It was a long show. It was either an hour and a half long, and it was packed full of content. And then about 3 months later, in September, they had another 40-minute event. So I'm just saying, we're in September now. Early September, they do a 40-minute event. You go through September, October, November, December. Yeah, that's about 3 months. By the time we get to December, that's 3 months removed from the September event. I'm thinking it might be a possibility, guys. I'm thinking Sony may have decided to just not do a summer event anymore in favor of doing an end-of-the-year PlayStation Experience event. I could be wrong, but that's just another prediction I'm making because I don't know. They still have to show off VR and yeah. So anyway, I have a couple more super chats here. You're saying watch it right now. The game is basically PS5 Gears, LOL. No, I'm not gonna check it out right now, but that definitely gives me a better idea of what the game is. Magnum Visuals, you're saying Project Who. Kay the Conqueror, you're saying I will die happily with Bloodborne Remaster at 60 FPS. And then we have Swaggy G, you're saying Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, and Sly 5 would be a dream come true. Yeah, that would be pretty good, man. Brett Williams, you're saying watch Project Magnum now. You'll love it. Maybe at the end of the podcast if I can set it up, because okay, I do have my headphones and stuff. We'll see. Maybe I could set it up at the end of the podcast if we have time, if my voice doesn't completely die. RU46 and 2 Ray, you're saying you don't put diamonds in your logo to hold back. That's true. Yeah, that teaser trailer, man. I got people more hyped than I expected. But yeah, Sony's like, hey, we got this event. Diamonds. It's looking good, man. Nate Doctor is saying, I'm your insider. It's a BP Tenchu remake. I wish. Cocoa Puffs, you're saying, how dope would it be if SOCOM makes a comeback? Dude, it would be amazing. I would love to see a modern day SOCOM, man. And I think Sony needs a game like that. I really do. So I would absolutely love to see it. I hope we see SOCOM. Okay, guys, with that being said, I spent way longer on this first topic than I meant to, but it's the event. We're obviously going to have more to say when the event gets here. Like I said, we're going to have our popcorn ready. So hit the like button. We're almost at 800 likes, which is awesome. We're going to move on to the second topic, which is one I'm extremely interested in. Apparently, Sony is building a AAA studio to create AAA titles, specifically Japanese AAA titles. So they're building a AAA Japanese studio, and they're hiring some of the top talent in the world, in the game development world, Japanese talent, and bringing them on board. It sounds like Sony's pretty much poaching talent. Didn't somebody, guys, I want to ask you before I get into this, didn't somebody high up at Capcom, specifically somebody from Resident Evil's team, didn't they just recently announce their departure after Resident Evil 8? And they've been part of the Resident Evil series for like a long time. I feel like that's something I remember making the headlines over in the past couple of weeks. And if you think about it, looking at the timing of this, and then hearing this rumor come up, it's like maybe this is real. Maybe there is truth to this. 2 guys from Capcom. Oh, really? Yeah, I bet you if this is true, Sony poached him, man. Sony's like, you're working for us now. Let's go. They might steal some of the Wukong guys. Yeah, so you're saying survival horror all-star team being assembled? You're saying, yeah, they did. He left after the release of 8 to start join a team. Did they announce where they were going? I don't know. I'll have to look into it. This is saying Fabiano. Anyway, Anthony, you're saying, well, every other 60 to 90 minute show this year has felt bloated and had too much filler. I prefer tight 40 with all bangers. I agree 100%, dude. I agree 100%. That's the thing, is like, I'm just trying to, I think that if Sony can nail this, like, I've noticed there's a lot of people who are nervous. They're like, 40 minutes isn't enough time, but it really depends on how Sony handles it and how long they spend on each announcement. Because if you think about it, if each announcement is between 3 to 5 minutes long and every reveal is 3 to 5 minutes long, that's a lot of stuff you can pack in a single 40-minute window. So, all right. I want to read this article talking about this new studio that they're building. So this is reading from PlayStation Lifestyle. Rumor: Sony is creating a new big-budget AAA studio in Japan. NYC134, you're saying SOCOM with a campaign and online mode. Yeah, there has to be both, for sure. I think it would be weird to just get an online-only SOCOM. I think people would want some kind of campaign. Maxwell, you're saying Sony needs to buy studios before they get big, like Zero, Game Science, From Software. Well, From Software is already big. Supermassive, Bungie's big, Pearl Abyss, even Crytek. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Sony is doing more in the studio acquisition space than we're aware of right now. That's my thought on it. So we'll have to see. But Mag, yeah, I just saw that recent. Hey, psst. Do you guys hear my cats? Do you hear them? Knock it off. They're literally fighting each other next to me. They're like really going at it. You guys really want to just stop. Knock it off. Oh my God. Anyway, you can't hear them? Really? Some people heard that. Yeah, they'll get loud too, man. They'll start growling at each other. And I'm like, you guys need to chill. Ruining the flow here. Anyway, I see they totally made me lose my train of thought. Anyway, let's read this article and go over what these cats, they lack respect, you know? Sony may be in the process of creating a new big-budget studio in Japan dedicated to creating AAA titles capable of appealing to a worldwide audience, insiders say. The rumor comes from a source who previously correctly predicted that Sony would acquire Returnal development studio Housemarque back in June. So just to give you some, give you an idea of where this is coming from, the source correctly said that Sony's going to buy Housemarque. So it seems like they could be, you're saying a cat reveal at 100K. I've already shown my cats off. Actually, I don't think I've shown Boss yet. He hasn't been on camera because he just doesn't ever jump on my lap. But, let's see. Maxwell, you're saying, okay, I read that one. Magnum Visuals are saying, doesn't that black square pattern in the background of the PlayStation Showcase remind you of Intelligent Cube for PS1? Maybe a remake at 8K with ray tracing? Who knows, man? Who knows? It's hard to tell if there were any teases there. But yeah, to preface this rumor, it's coming from a seemingly somewhat reliable source who was correct. So, so specifically, several sources indicate that Sony is interested in creating a new IP on the same level as Capcom's blockbuster hits like Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, and Devil May Cry, and Konami's Metal Gear Solid. All of the said games appeal not only to the Japanese audiences, but Western ones as well, garnering a large fan base across the world over the course of several decades. The source compares Sony's studio to Microsoft's new studio, The Initiative, which was founded in 2018 to create a, quote, quadruple A, unquote, video game, or quadruple A video games. Yeah, Microsoft and their quadruple A games. They can't even get triple A right, but let's move on to quadruple A, sure. Furthermore, sources reveal that Sony is hiring veteran developers from Capcom's Resident Evil team, as well as veteran Square Enix and Konami developers. According to the rumor, the unnamed studio has also been working on a new game since 2020. This also implies that Sony had plans to create the studio even before the company restructured the former Japan studio around Team Asobi earlier this year. Another source indicates that Sony plans to announce both the new studio and project in the coming months. That sounds interesting to me. PlayStation Studios head Herman Hulst has previously mentioned that Sony is continuing to invest in Japanese game studios, revealing that it is investing in their external development studio out of Tokyo. Whether or not the statement is related to the rumored new studio is not confirmed. However, the statement lines up with Sony's recent push for Japanese from Japanese studios. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. It sounds like it's kind of a big deal with what Sony's trying to achieve with this studio. You're saying sheesh, Black Waifus, you're saying sheesh, long weekend. Forgot it's Sunday. Yeah, dude, tell me about it. It's good though. I mean, when is there this much news over a weekend? I'm not complaining though. But this studio sounds like it's a big deal, guys, and I kind of feel like it's going to be a big deal if Sony announces this. And I think one of the reasons it's going to be a big deal is because Sony wants to make it known to Microsoft, like, you're not the only one who can make a big deal with studio announcements, who can get attention for studio announcements and basically build hype. I've tried to explain to people before, and I think that this is true. I feel like Sony, they have to start getting more engaged in the acquisition side of things, right? And building studios. Mr. Hamster is saying, hey, MBG, long time no see, brother. Yeah, it's been a while, man. It's nice to see you here. Welcome, Mr. Hamster. Glad you could tune in. Yeah, but dude, like, I feel that Sony, they cannot risk just letting Microsoft, and not just Microsoft, but like other entities in the gaming industry, just buy up everything. Or if not buy up everything, like, one of the things that's interesting to me about this is the fact that they're trying to hire top Japanese talent from these known studios like Capcom, Konami, Square Enix. That's smart too, because, you know, that's how, I don't know. I like what Sony's doing here. I like what they're doing, and I hope this is true. And I think it's a big deal if it is true, because I feel like it'll be a great way for Sony to actually show, not talk about their commitment to the Japanese market and Japanese game development, but actually show it, like, look at what we're doing. We're literally building a AAA Japanese studio with some of the top talent. And I'm like, that would be incredible. I hope it's true, man. I really hope it's true. And I would have to wonder what kind of game are they going to make, you know? But according to the source, it's going to be a new IP of some sort. And it sounds like they have kind of some leeway with what type of game they could make. They could go make a survival horror game. They could make a, you know, tactical stealth game like Metal Gear. They could make something similar to Monster Hunter, or just something completely new, you know, something that maybe blends a bunch of that stuff together. Sounds really exciting, though. What I can tell with Sony this generation that I feel like it's kind of a big deal is this generation is getting off to a slower start in terms of, like, I don't know. I feel like every generation is like this, where it's like once you get to the middle point and like the later part of the generation, you really start to see some crazy stuff happening, because everything that's going to happen then is in the early process now. And I don't know, man, like, I just feel like Sony has really kind of doubled and tripled down on getting all of their studios to, like, try to fire on all cylinders and prepare for the future of PlayStation and the PlayStation 5 generation and beyond that. I think that Sony honestly has taken Microsoft's acquisition spree very seriously, and knowing how many studios Microsoft has, knowing that Sony, whether they will admit it, whether Microsoft will admit it, they are in competition with one another. You know what I mean? I think Sony wants to bring that fight to them in the sense that we're going to have a lot of games too. We're going to have a lot of things in development, because that's something I hear Xbox fans say all the time, which is fine. And I understand why they're excited, because they're like, we got X amount of studios and we'll have like a new game every like 3 months. It's like, that's great. I worry about the quality in general, but I've tried to say that PlayStation's kind of aiming to do the same thing. I have to remind people, look at the output that PlayStation has had in 2020 and this year so far. It's been incredible. It's literally been, like, amazing. And that's why I always felt bad being like, Sony, you got to do more. Because it's like, if you look at their game output over the past year and a half, almost 2 years now, it's been unmatched in terms of volume and quality, in my opinion. And I think Sony wants to push it even further, you know, and they're going to do that by not only acquiring some studios, building studios, striking some serious partnerships, man, and really kind of pushing to get a lot of talented developers on board. Look at what they're doing. Like, I think people forget Jade Raymond's new studio, Deviation Games, Firewalk Games. These are all things that are currently in development right now. We know about, but they just, they're early and like they're all going to pay off in the long run. I don't know, man. Everybody's always talking about how many games Microsoft has in development. The difference between Sony and Microsoft in this case is Sony is not out here revealing like 15 games that are, they said we have 25 games in development. They just decided, but we're not going to reveal all of them to you now. Whereas I feel like Microsoft, they're just like, if it can be revealed, like put it out there. Look at the Outer Worlds 2 trailer. They literally made fun of the fact that they have nothing done. Like they just have a name. And they just made this trailer making fun of themselves, which was comical. I liked it. But you clearly see that Microsoft is okay doing that. Sony, they're more like, we're just going to show stuff that's more tangible right now. Stuff that's maybe the next year, maybe the next year and a half. And I think that it's smart because when they are ready to show off this stuff, and people forget, oh, they did say they have 25 games of development, half of which are new IP. When they do actually show that stuff off, people are gonna be like, oh, like I didn't even see that coming. I wasn't expecting that. Like they're showing off more than I anticipated. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. I got a bunch of super chats I have to. Magnum Visuals, you're saying Halo Infinite is a big budget quadruple A game bottlenecked by Game Pass. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't think it's Game Pass per se that's the problem, as much as it's just Microsoft has made it clear, in my opinion, they're not going to let them delay the game again. I could be wrong about that. Maybe 343 just doesn't want to delay the game. But yeah, they have to make some sacrifices at the initial launch due to time constraint. But I've been a little bit hard on Microsoft and Halo, but as long as they get the game where it needs to be with the campaign and the multiplayer, that's like the meat and potatoes, then I think it'll be okay. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Ultimately, Darkborn, you're saying, I've been saying for a while that they didn't shutter Japan studio just because, and that was announced when Ryan said that they would use profit to invest. Yeah, I know that Sony's current leadership with Jim Ryan, and we're actually going to have a big discussion about this once we move on to the Horizon Forbidden West topic. The discussion around Sony's leadership has been maybe more questionable, where people think that they're just completely out of touch in the sense that they just, you saw the reports earlier this year where it's like they just want to focus on big cookie cutter blockbuster games. They don't care about anything else. I'm like, look, there's no doubt Sony's focus is mainly on AAA games. Even in the indie space, they clearly favor those bigger, almost like micro AAA. I don't know what else to call it. I want to call them AA, but I feel like they're in between AA and AAA games. And that's kind of what Sony's focus is. And I'm okay with that. I prefer that. That's just the type of gamer I am. I like that stuff. But to make it sound like Sony isn't taking risks or isn't going to do anything, I just feel like that's kind of ridiculous to say. It's clear that they are doing things. I think where people get mixed up, again, it's in the approach. Microsoft's approach is announce, reveal. If it's a thing, talk about it. If it's a thing that's in production, talk about it. If it's a thing that's going to happen and we want to happen, talk about it. Microsoft's very open that way, and I think that it's good and bad. It's good because it gets the fan base excited, doesn't leave them questioning, and it gives them stuff to talk about and hype up for the future. But it's almost like you also don't know like what the end result is going to be like. It's so far away that you kind of need to just be like, oh, okay, like maybe it'll be good. We'll have to see 3 years from now potentially, or 2.5 years from now. I feel like with Sony, I don't know, like, yeah, they announce games early sometimes, but I just get this feeling that it's not even a feeling. I know, I cover this stuff. I see the job listings. I see the job postings. There's a lot of stuff that Sony has right now that they're saving. And I think they're saving because they know it's early and they need to give the teams time. But there's a lot of stuff that Sony has right now. And, this AAA Japanese studio, I was not privy to this. So this is, if it's real, this is just a thing that like I had no idea. And I hope it's real. Angel, you're saying, do you think they could acquire FromSoft? I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, that would be, whew, that would be a crazy acquisition. Like, I would take one from software over the entirety of Bethesda. I'm just gonna be brutally honest. I'm not into Bethesda games, and so for me, if something like that were to happen, that would be colossal to me. That would be a huge, huge acquisition. Possibly the biggest, like out of everything I've seen so far. Just because that's how much respect I have for From Software. I genuinely think that like them being the creators of the Soulsborne genre, they created a literal genre of game, and it stood the test of time, and it's a genre of its own. So I don't know, man. It would be huge. I don't know if they could though. I mean, maybe they could. I feel like if they really wanted to and they wanted to like overpay, like pretty much give them an offer they couldn't refuse, I think they could do that. But yeah, that's the thing is I think From Software is owned by another company. That's where I'm a little bit confused. I don't know. They like you also have to think from Sony's perspective, where it's like, well, not just Sony's perspective, but any publisher's perspective, where if you're thinking about buying a studio, if they're even up for sale, that's the thing is like they might not be up for sale. There might be like there's definitely studios that are like, we don't want to sell. We will partner with you, and we'll strike a deal, but we don't want to sell. That's a thing. You know what I mean? Like that's a real thing that happens, and I think people need to understand that it's not just like, give a studio an offer they can't refuse. That's just not always applicable. There are going to be studios that value their independence, and they're just not interested in, getting as much money as they can. They're interested in doing what they do and doing it in the way they do it, you know? Somebody says, I just read like an important saying they're owned by Kadokawa, with who Sony just formed a capital alliance. Interesting. How early are you starting your coverage on Thursday, MBG? So for me, it goes live at 4 p.m. Eastern. I want to try to go live at 3. It might be a little bit after that, but roughly that's kind of about an hour to 45 minutes before. Did I hear about the rumor about an Infamous game? Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. Okay, let me see. I have some more super chats here. Maxwell, you're saying they just need to buy studios like the ones I said, not publishers, but if they open the checkbook and buy Square Enix and Capcom, sheesh. Yeah, I don't know that Sony's going to do anything like that. I don't know, man. I think it really comes down to what Microsoft does next. I think if Microsoft acquires another major publisher, I think Sony's going to be like, okay, we need to go buy a publisher right now. Because if Microsoft buys another major publisher, then that just sucks, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I can't get behind this idea. And no, I don't want Sony to do the same thing. I mean, if they did, I'd be like, hey, I'm glad it was Sony that did it and not somebody else, because I'm a PlayStation fan and that's where I play. But the idea of just entire publishers being gobbled up, man, it's like, that just sucks. It does. I'm sorry, it does suck. Now, I don't think Bethesda's that bad, because Bethesda's always been pretty intertwined with Microsoft. So it's like, yeah, it's a thing that happened, and I get it, it makes sense. But I don't want to see like Microsoft just like, we bought Capcom. It's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, that would be ridiculous. Say, or if they come out and they're like, Microsoft bought Square Enix, I just don't like the idea that Microsoft has the ability, because they're a $1 trillion corporation, to just literally produce a number that they can show to these publishers and be like, we want to buy you. Here's how much we'll pay for you. Here's how much we'll give you. I just think that that's kind of scary. You know what I mean? And I think that there's probably laws. I know there are laws in place that could prevent that. And so I don't know that Microsoft could just do that. You know what I mean? I don't think that they could just go, to every publisher and be like, we're buying you. I don't think that would happen. Let me see. Yeah, I know there are laws against it. I don't know why I said I think there's laws. Like, there are laws against it. We talked about it with the whole, Bethesda thing. And so it's like, I'm glad, but just knowing, I don't know, man. I just don't like the fact, and I'm just going to be a little bit harsh on Microsoft right now. I'm not trying to turn into this, but I just want to say I do not respect Microsoft's way of going about it. I just don't. I do not respect this idea where it's like, we're just going to buy you. And look, we're made our platform better. And we're better now. It's like, okay. I mean, I respect what Microsoft did with the initiative. You built a studio, you know what I mean? Or even when they buy smaller studios to build them up. I respect that more because it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like we want to win and we want to remain relevant. So we're just going to write this large check, and it's just a little cheap to me. It's not earned, in my opinion. But then again, man, when you're Microsoft, you got that money. Who am I to say? You know what I mean? Who am I to say? Darkborn, you're saying they mentioned Japanese and Asian interest as well. Might be a Chinese dev studio acquisition or building a new one as well. It could be, yeah, for sure. RU46N2 Ray, you're saying, what if Kojima seeing what if Kojima's. Okay, you're basically saying, what if Kojima is the head of this Japan studio? I don't know how that could be possible. I mean, has that ever been a thing? I don't think that's a thing, is it? Maybe somebody can give me an example of a developer or like somebody being ahead of two different studios? Isn't Zampella, isn't he the head of multiple studios? You're saying Michael Ansel, but that turned out horribly. I could see Kojima being involved in the studio, not like the head of the studio, but I could see him maybe being involved in some way, you know? But yeah, Maxwell, again, you're saying, bro, if they buy Pearl Abyss, Capcom, and Square. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You're saying Vince Zampella, he runs DICE. Yeah, see, I knew Vince Zampella, he like runs DICE now, but he's also in charge of Respawn. Although, I don't know, actually. I think he kind of like oversees Respawn somewhat, but I think he's more, Ripple Effect, I think is what they're called now too. Yeah, it's possible, man. It's very possible. I don't know how likely it is, but it's certainly a possibility. I could see maybe something like that happening. I mean, because if you think about it, if you're Sony and you're building a new AAA Japanese studio, I mean, you kind of want, to some extent, to get Kojima involved because he's one of the biggest Japanese developers there is in the industry. He's like the most famous developer. So it's like you would want to get him involved somehow. You're saying Jeff Grubb is sticking with Kojima's working with Microsoft? I mean, yeah, I don't doubt that. I don't know what's going on with Kojima. I honestly have no clue. Other than the fact that he has a new trailer coming out and, yeah, he has the Death Stranding director's cut. I have no idea. I really thought like I was on to something with the whole Blue Box thing, but yeah, at this point, it's anybody's guess. I do want to say that I just don't think it's likely Kojima goes to Microsoft and just is doing nothing with Sony. I just don't think that makes sense. I would be surprised. I mean, I know he's independent, but I only say that because I say that people get like weird when I say that. They think it's because it's like, no, Kojima, you better stay with Sony. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I think it would be strange for Sony to not want to keep Kojima involved with PlayStation and to just let him go. But then again, if that's what Kojima wants, maybe there's nothing Sony can do. If Sony's like, hey, we want you to still be involved with PlayStation, Kojima, and he's like, nah, I'm going to Xbox. Be like, all right, like there's nothing anybody can do. Kendall Fire 22, you're saying, I'm not sure why people are expecting a Spider-Man 2 trailer. Insomniac has released 3 games since the PS5 launched. Well, my thing is, I'm thinking we might get a teaser, not a full-blown trailer, just like one of those teasers, like kind of what we got for God of War. Like we got a teaser for God of War, and it's been pretty much close to a year since we got that teaser, and we haven't seen or heard a thing about it. I could see something like that. You know what I mean? So I think anybody who's expecting like a full-blown Spider-Man 2 reveal, I don't think that's going to happen. Amazing Hades, you're saying, when does the event start? For me, it's 4 p.m. Eastern time. So that's when it starts for me. You might want to check for your time zone. Rashdam, you're saying, so it's okay with Sony and Insomniac, double standard. Well, no, I don't think you're understanding, man. Like, what I'm talking about is there's a difference between buying an entire gaming publisher, you know, where you're like, you cannot compare the acquisition of Insomniac Games or Housemarque to the Bethesda acquisition. They're just two completely different things, you know? And the thing is, when Microsoft bought Bethesda, they also bought all of their IP, like every single IP. And you're talking about, I mean, dude, like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like the idea of Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Doom, Wolfenstein. I'm sure there's others I'm failing to mention. Starfield. Starfield I'm not going to count because that's a new IP. But you know, these are all games that Microsoft just gobbled up at one time. It's like, you know, that's different than Sony being like, "Hey, we bought Insomniac." You know what I mean? It's just a different thing. I understand the point you're trying to get at, Rashdam, but they are two different things. ZeniMax, yeah, you're right. It's not just Bethesda. All of ZeniMax, pretty much. So, all right. With that being said, we're going to move on to the next topic, which is a pretty significant topic at that. So if you could do me a favor, hit the like button, guys. We're already over 900 likes, which is awesome. I appreciate you guys showing your support. Can we get to 1,000 likes? I think we can. Ow, just smashed my elbow. I got that thing too close to me. But, I want you guys to hit that like button. Rashdam, you're saying buying is buying. All it does, it all does the same exclusives. Well, I mean, look, I understand that if you're an Xbox fan, or if you're just like, if you prefer Xbox, I totally understand that you're not going to agree with what I'm saying because and I understand that. Like, I would feel the same way. If Sony announced today or tomorrow or at this event that we acquired Square Enix, I mean, as a PlayStation fan, and I play on PlayStation, yeah, it's like, that's my preferred platform. I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's awesome. Look at what Sony did. Like, PlayStation owns them now, and it's easy for me to do that because I play on PlayStation. But I do understand that there'll be a large group of people that are like, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Like, every Square Enix game now going forward is an exclusive. And people would be upset, and I would understand that. You know, it's a tough thing. So I'm saying I understand Xbox fans who are like, yes, like Xbox did it. And that was the point of it, honestly. Like, Microsoft did that, as they said, for Xbox fans. We're like, we want to give you more exclusive games. And I do respect Microsoft to an extent for doing that. But, you know, I just think it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow for anybody if you see a major publisher bought up like that for a platform that you just don't prefer. It's a tough pill to swallow. I think we can all agree on that. So anyway, the third topic we're talking about, let's talk about the situation with Horizon Forbidden West, okay? Because I have to say, it is bizarre to me to see some of the reactions to this. So I'm going to give you just a very quick, very brief rundown, and I have to refer to something on my Twitter as well that I want to bring up. I'm sure many of you are, you know, very much aware of what happened. So give me 1 sec so I can bring this up. Almost have it. Okay. All right. So for those who are maybe a little bit out of the loop or don't know the entire situation, when Sony announced pre-orders for Horizon Forbidden West, they screwed it up. The reason why they screwed it up is because last year, Jim Ryan went on record saying that, hey, if you buy Horizon Forbidden West on PS4, you'll be entitled to a free upgrade for the PlayStation 5 version. And the way Sony was kind of framing this is, well, we said it was only going to be for the launch window PlayStation exclusives. So that included Spider-Man Miles Morales, Sackboy Big Adventure, and apparently if basically what they were saying is that if Horizon Forbidden West launched this holiday season, they still consider that the launch window apparently of the PlayStation 5, they would have stuck to that. But because it got pushed into 2022, they're like, okay, we're not doing that now. And so here's the worst part about it. I mean, not only does it come off as a straight up lie, but what makes it even worse is they did not offer an upgrade path at all. So they didn't even say, give us $10 and you can get the PS5 version. They didn't even do that. Instead, they were just like, buy this $80 version of Horizon Forbidden West so you can get a PS4 version and a PS5 digital copy together. And it wasn't good because it's just messed up. The good news is, though, the great news is Sony listened to the backlash and they listened to the community and they reversed it. So, they said, look, we did say that we would give you the upgrade for free. So that's what we're going to do. And it's sad. It's not sad, but it's crazy because you know how many people I've seen since Sony did this be like, well, I'm buying the PS4 version now. I'm getting that free upgrade. I'm saving that $10. And I don't blame anybody for doing that. It's available for you to do, but it's like, do you see why Sony's not going to do it? Like, Sony made it clear they're charging $70 for their games, But anyway, let me read these super chats. Crispy, you're saying, I would rather Xbox have ZeniMax than Google Stadia or Amazon. Oh, I agree 100%, man. I agree 100%. I would rather see Microsoft acquire any other publisher than see Google or Amazon. I hope Google or Amazon stay away completely. Mike, who you're saying we need more GPUs to get ready for Black Myth Wukong. The trailers for that product show what truly is a next-gen gaming title. Yeah, I've seen a lot of praise for that game, and I watched some of it, and I'm like, this looks crazy good. This looks crazy good. So, yeah, I'm excited for it, man. So you're saying MBG, but it's the same pattern again. Sony being out of touch, it gets them into huge trouble. Massive U-turn ahead. Same with the store closures. Well, that's the thing, man. People need to understand what's going on. Like, I know people think that people like Jim Ryan and other I don't know who else is making these decisions, but the people there, I know there's people who think that they're really stupid and don't know what they're doing. That's not what's happening here. And people need to understand that. They know exactly what they're doing. Now, I don't agree. There have been some people that said, well, Sony planned to do this. No, I don't think Sony was planning to get people angry at them so that way they could come out and be like, actually, never mind. Now you can be happy with us. No, I don't think that's the case because you have to understand, like, people were being like, look, Jim Ryan lied. And you're talking about Sony potentially gambling with the trust of their community and fan base. That's not something you mess around with. So I don't think that this was planned at all. Seiler is saying you can definitely tell that Horizon was going to be PS5 only. I could care less about the debacle. I would buy it anyway. But yes, they did lie. What's the $80 version going to include now, though? I think there is a regular $80 version that includes a bunch of like stuff like any other game. I could be wrong. I have to look into it. There was a lot of different versions of the game, and it's frankly a little bit overwhelming. But so what I want to say here first and foremost is that people need to understand, and don't get me wrong, you don't need to understand, but I would recommend you try to understand, because when you see it this way, I'm not saying it makes you suddenly be like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not about just being okay, but you understand like why. And I think that's important for people to know. And people bring it down to, well, it's just greed. And it's like, gee, you think? Like, wow, you really figured that one out. Like, yes, it's greed. It's called corporate greed. And I hate to break it to people, but that's literally their job. So people who are like, I can't believe Sony would do this. You can't believe Sony would do this? You really can't believe it. The fact that they want to see how much money they can extract out of you before they take it too far. This is how I try to explain to people that
people who think Microsoft, people act like Microsoft is giving you money. Like they're just giving you, like, oh, you could take it all. We just want $10. Like, no. That's not what's happening, okay? I've tried I'm telling you, man, like people just fall for this stuff. Sony and Microsoft are operating differently. They both want the same thing. They both want a lot of money, okay? The difference between Sony and Microsoft is Sony's just like, we don't just want a little bit of extra money from you. We want as much as we can get. And they're going to tell you right to your face, we want all of your money. And they're willing, apparently Jim Ryan is willing to take it to a point where he's going to be like, let's see what happens. Because here's the thing. Imagine if there wasn't much backlash. Imagine if Sony announced this and it was just very, very minimal backlash, just maybe a handful of smaller videos here that failed to get any views or a significant amount of views. There were pretty much no headlines or just very few. Sony would have been like, this is great. We took a risk and it paid off. We thought, hey, people will accept this and they'll pay for it and they'll be okay with it. And that's what they were hoping for. And, this is where I'm saying, like, it's not difficult to see it for what it is. But when you talk about Microsoft, and I only have to bring this up because I just want people to understand that this is not just a Sony thing. It's just, you cannot view corporations as your friend. They will try to work with you, and that's what Microsoft is doing, where Microsoft, their end goal is no different than Sony's. They want your money, and if they could have all of it at one time, they would love to have that happen, but they know that that's not going to work for them, so they don't even bother. I think people forget that Microsoft, I just need to point this out, Microsoft is also the company that said, we're going to double Xbox Live. And in like literally less than 12 hours, they're like, never mind, no, we're not. And Sony did the same thing. And so if you need a good idea of what's going on with these corporations, yes, it's greed, because that's what they're designed to do. They're designed to extract as much money from you as possible. Now, if you say, well, the way Sony is going about it isn't right, I actually agree with you. The way Sony was doing this with Horizon Forbidden West is ridiculous and blatantly a slap to the face to the community. It's like, dude, I know you want my money, but this is how you think you're going to get it from me? Like, that's BS. And that's why I say some people will just never be okay or happy with anything. They'll never be satisfied with anything. I've seen so many people since Sony reversed this decision come out and be like, no, this isn't good enough. They still want $10 for God of War and for GT7. And I'm like, you need to understand, Sony came out this generation and they said loud and clear, our PS5 games are going to increase by $10 and be $70. If there was a time for the ultra backlash to happen, for the market to speak and the market to convey, we are not okay with $70 games, it was in that moment at that time, just like we saw with Horizon now. That didn't happen. And it didn't happen because the market, believe it or not, is okay with $70 games. You will see a couple people here and there be like, this sucks, $70 games suck, I'm going to Game Pass. Sony doesn't care if you do that, because what Sony cares about is the larger portion of the market, the majority of the market that is buying these games for $70. So if you need to know why there is a $10 upgrade, and I'm not defending this, I'm just saying it's the reality, and people don't want to accept the reality. They'll be like, well, Game Pass. I'm like, I don't care. No one cares. PlayStation fans do not care about Game Pass. People need to stop bringing that crap up. We're going to buy our games. We're going to buy PlayStation exclusives. If you want to go to Game Pass because that's a good deal for you and you don't like paying $70 for your games, then you don't have to. But this is where we draw the line. We draw the line and we say, look, Sony, you want to sell us your exclusives for $70, that's one thing. You want to pull this crap with Horizon, that's another. And that's where we speak up. And I understand that you're saying it's like a pattern. And the pattern you're seeing is now that Jim Ryan is in charge, Jim Ryan is out here testing the waters, people, Jim Ryan is a businessman first. That has been made clear. And he's like, I'm going to extract as much money from our fan base as we possibly can. And I'm going to see what I can and what I cannot get away with. Do you know why they wanted to close the PS3 store? Most likely to save money, and probably it was just annoying for them. They probably saw like nobody was actually buying games, but it's a cost saving thing, right? Trimming the fat, I guess you could say. And they saw like, oh, okay, they're not going to accept that. They're not ready for that. Never mind. We're not going to do that. Now Jim Ryan comes in. He's like, you know what? Let's just not do this and just see if we can just get people to pay $80 and see what happens. And they saw what happened. They saw really quick that, okay, never mind. People are not accepting this. We're sorry. Guys, come on. Like, this is where we do have to, as the PlayStation community, we need to keep Sony on their toes, where we need to make it clear, and I feel like we've been doing a pretty good job so far, what we are okay with and what we are not. And I feel like in this case, we see a situation where the PlayStation fan base and the PlayStation community and the market, the PlayStation gaming market specifically said, okay, fine, we'll accept $70 games. All right, it's fine. We'll accept that. And then we came out, we're like, but what you're doing with Horizon, you want $80 for dual entitlement? No. We're not going to accept that. And you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a time and there's a place, and you have to take it on a situation. It's a situational thing, right? Like, every time there's something that happens, you have to evaluate. Like, why do you think Sony didn't reverse the decision they made for Ghost of Tsushima? Why do you think they didn't reverse that? It's simple. It's because people were, like, the majority of people, like the overwhelming majority of people, were okay with it. And I tried explaining that to people. I'm like, guys, you can scream about this upgrade all you want. People are going to buy it. And that's exactly what happened. And that's why it didn't get reversed. But Sony sees that. And that's the thing. That's where we have this weird balance going on here, this push and shove with Sony, where Sony pushes us and they're like, you going to take that? And with Ghost of Tsushima, we're like, yeah, fine, not a big deal. And then Sony pushes again even harder, and they're like, with Horizon, like, you're going to take that? And we're like, whoa, we're not going to take that. And then we push them back, and we're like, now you're taking it too far, buddy. I feel like that's an analogy, essentially, for, like, what's going on here. And I feel like there's just people who don't understand that it's a push and pull thing here, and you're not going to, like, you can go die on that hill if you want, where you think you're going to go talk to Sony and be like, let me tell you why you need to go back to $60 games. That window is closed. It's not open. The door is closed. The window's closed. So Sony's games are $70 now. But if Sony wants to do something in the future with like pre-orders or whatever it may be, and they do something next, it's like, okay, here's our opportunity to determine, are we okay with this? Are we not? Anyway, I got a bunch of super chats I got to read here, guys. Magnum Visuals are saying people are selfish to where they want all these games for free, yet they don't realize that Sony may reduce the budget in these games to appease them. Yeah, and it's not just that. Like, I know people think, oh, you're a shill if you're okay with, like, basically paying a $10 upgrade fee. Like, it's not. It doesn't make me a shill. It means that I've evaluated what they're trying to sell me. Like, they want to sell me a PS5 upgrade. I've seen a lot of people come and be like, dude, it ain't worth it. Higher resolution, haptic feedback, 3D audio, faster load times, stuff like this. It's just not worth it. Potentially ray tracing. It's not worth that $10. Maybe to you, it's not worth the $10. For me, I'll gladly pay $10 for that. That's not a big deal to me at all, because I feel like what I'm getting in return is worth it. And that's what it comes down to. That's why I'm saying, like, in this case, it's not just about, and so I don't know, man. Like, the question I have is how, here's the real question I have. What did Sony's pre-order numbers look like? How many people actually pre-ordered the dual entitlement bundle that for $80? I would love to see that statistic, because I wonder if, like, a bunch of people did, and it's like Sony was about to make a lot of money off that, but the backlash they were getting was just so bad. It's like, cut it. We got to cut this cost. This isn't worth it. I don't know. You're saying no, it's a scam. It should be free. And I'm like, what's a scam? I just need to know what about this. You need to understand what scam means. If Sony says this is what you're gonna get for $10, and they sell it for $10, and you decide that you're okay with that and you buy it for $10, you were not scammed. If Sony says this is what you're gonna get for $10, you pay $10, and then that's not what you get, then you were scammed. There's a difference. This is where I feel like, see, this is where it feels sometimes impossible to exist on the internet without everything just basically being hyperbole. It really does come off that way sometimes. Actually, a lot of times, unfortunately. Aaron, okay, I got a bunch to go through here. Aaron, you're saying, what did they mean by free upgrade for Horizon Forbidden West? Just graphics without the haptics, or otherwise PS version still costs extra $10? No. If I'm reading what Sony's telling me correctly, and you're right, they may need to disclose this, but I think it's assumed. And if not, if this isn't what Sony means, then man, they are just digging a hole for themselves needlessly. When they say you will get the upgrade for free, I'm assuming that means you get all of the PS5 exclusive features that are offered for Horizon Forbidden West with the PS5 version. Like, you essentially just get the PS5 version for free if you upgrade it. That's what I'm assuming. I don't think it's just limited to like, oh, you only get 60 FPS, but if you want everything else, you have to pay $10. It's a full PS5 upgrade. That's, in my opinion, that's what they were conveying. They didn't give any exclusions. They just said free PS4 to PS5 upgrade. So that's how I would take that. Hickzock, you're saying PS5 games are $90 here in Poland. So is there any reason to get PS5 versions over PS4 and upgrade for free? I mean, look, that's for you to determine, man. Like, I'm not here to tell people, no, it is worth it. That's not my prerogative here. Okay. I'm not trying to be like the guy that I secretly work for Sony. Let me tell you why that's Sony's job. It's Sony's job to market their games. If they want to sell you a more expensive game, it's their job to market that product and sell you on it and convince you, not my job. All I'm here conveying is that with a lot of the games that Sony has showed me, and I know it's more expensive for you in Poland, and I can only speak for myself, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know how I would feel if I had to pay $90 for Horizon. I want to say realistically, I'd probably end up paying that price because I just feel that there are just some games I don't want to miss out on. 90, yeah, I will admit though, there's a more of a sting with a $90 purchase compared to a $70, right? But this is where I'm saying for me it's $70, and based off of what I've seen, I look at a game like Horizon and I'm like, this looks more than worth it to me. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody turns to me and they're like, I don't think it's worth it at all, I'll be like, okay, like, dude, then you've made that determination, then don't buy it. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it is. And it's just where I draw the line is when people are like, no, we have to go yell at Sony. And I'm like, what am I yelling at them for? And they're like, you don't want to pay $70 for your games. I'm like, look, I'm not saying I want to give them more money. I'm just saying that, like, to me, the $10 increase doesn't seem like that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like when people come to me like, dude, you need to say something to Sony. Look at what they're doing with Horizon. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's pretty bad. Like, that's not fair. That's not right. That's not fair. That's when I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go yell at Sony because that's not cool. There's a difference. You know what I mean? There's nuance to this. And I feel like the problem is where the hyperbole comes in is to inject hyperbole into these types of conversations is to completely remove any nuance that legitimately exists within these conversations. So you're saying $10 for a poor country is too much. I understand that. I know. I'm not saying it's an easy pill for everybody to swallow, nor am I saying everybody needs to swallow that $70 or that $10 increase pill. I'm not saying that. But I'm trying to get people to understand, like, if you want to know why Sony is going to do it, Sony is experimenting within the market. Sony is the top dog in the market. They know this. They know they have the goods. They're going to keep pushing the line, and they're going to see how far can they go. before they hit that wall. That's the point. With Horizon, they pushed it, they hit the wall. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like with what they just tried to do with Horizon, they hit the wall and they hit it hard. And I'm glad they did, because that's where it's like, yeah, that's where the wall needs to be for sure. Because it would have been, I'm not kidding. I would have been thoroughly disappointed in Sony if they just said, we're just going to stick with it. F you. We're doing it. I would have been very disappointed. And going forward, I honestly would not listen to anything Jim Ryan says. I'm glad Jim Ryan owned up to it. And he's like, we did promise this to you. And people are like, well, it doesn't matter. He still lied. It's like, yeah, but that you're missing the point. The point is they acknowledged it. And they are reversing it. And they're like, well, they only did that because you called them out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not justifying the lying part. I'm more focused on the fact that they acknowledged it. We pushed back. We called them out. They responded. They acknowledged when they could have just ignored it. And everything's okay now. And we hope that they don't do it again, you know? Rory, you're saying all games that are cross-gen are only cross-gen because they started development on PS4. Plus, it's easier as a PS4/PS5 having the same architecture. Yeah, I don't think that, right now this is basically, I don't think it's a conversation about should these games be cross-gen. I mean, you know how I feel. I want more PS5 exclusives, even if they did start development on PS4. But the truth is if it's like, well, it can run perfectly fine on PS4, like it actually started on PS4. That's why there's no restrictions. That's fine, and as I said, like, people don't understand that if Sony were to come out and be like, hey, God of War, when that comes out, and not just God of War, but also GT7, if you buy this game on the PS4, if you buy the PS4 version of God of War Ragnarok or GT7, you get a free PS5 upgrade. Sony is literally selling the game at $60 at that point. It completely negates the $10 price increase. That's why I'm saying that's not going to happen. That's why I'm saying, like, you need to understand, we were asking Sony to acknowledge their lie and own up to it and stick to what they promised us, which was a free upgrade for Horizon. Okay? We were not out here screaming to Sony, you better make your game $60 again. No one was saying that. There were some people saying that, but the reason why no one's saying that is because, as I said, and I know that there are just some people, their skin crawls when I say this. It's just the reality. And they look at me as the problem and other people like us who are okay with $70 games. Well, you shouldn't have accepted that in the first place. Look, there was some blowback for Sony, but everybody was saying for a long time, when's the price increase coming? When's it happening? And it's not just Sony that's doing it. All right? It was always going to be a thing, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. Whether it's now or next gen or the gen after that. Now, if Sony says going into PS6 games, we want $80, we're going to have to talk. I think $70 should be where it stays for a very long time. I really believe that. You're saying, Max Powers is saying you're not entitled to games. It's a luxury in life. It's true, man. I know that sounds brutal to people, but it's freaking true. I'm not saying that as a gatekeeper. I'm not the gatekeeper. In a perfect world, all games would be free and nobody would have to pay for anything and we could all just live in a gaming utopia. That's not reality. That's delusion. So, yeah. I don't know. It's tough to have this conversation because people, when they hear me say this stuff, they think I'm just a radical fanboy that just wants to tell you why you should go out there and just buy all of Sony's games and be okay with it. And that's not what I'm trying to convey at all. And I hope most of you guys know that. So, Mike, who you're saying an alternative method would be cloud gaming. Most households have an average of 15 megabytes per second. DL speed, it'd be a smart way to tackle the processor shortage. I agree. That's what Microsoft is doing. And I actually never talked about that. I got to say, Microsoft's workaround for cross-gen games being like, if you own an Xbox One, you can play Starfield, which is a next-gen only exclusive, by streaming it. And I'm like, that's kind of smart, man. Like, that's actually a really good idea. I'm not saying I would do that, and I'm not saying everybody would be satisfied with that, but it's a pretty good alternative. I agree. That is a very fair alternative. Love my Solid Snake poster. Thanks. Yeah, I like it too. Kyle H, you're saying these are the facts. When you bought The Last of Us on PS4 but owned it on PS3, there were no complaints. Same goes for GTA 5 and many other games. That's how it is, man. That's why I'm saying I try to explain to people the market speaks. And then people say, well, you're part of the market and you have a platform, so you need to speak. And I do. I hope that me speaking out against this Horizon thing proves to a lot of people, because there were a lot of people who were coming at me. You're like, you're not going to talk about it. You're going to ignore it. You're just going to be okay with it. Like, no, I just wanted to make sure when I made my video, I said what I had to say in the way I needed to say it. I mean, do I think Sony waited for my video? Do I think Sony watched MBG's video and they're like, uh-oh, MBG made a video on this. We messed up this time, boys. No, I don't think that. It just happened to be that the same day I made that video, later in that day is when they made that announcement. But I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, no, like there's a time where I'm going to speak up and I'm going to push back. And there are things that I'm just okay with. And I don't mind letting you know, the difference between those two. So yeah. Amazing Hades, you're saying, are you streaming the event at 1 p.m. or 4 p.m.? 4 p.m. I'm streaming it at 4 p.m. because that's Eastern time. Sabi Sun, hopefully I'm saying your name correctly. You're saying, do you think Naughty Dog should announce Factions 2 multiplayer at the PlayStation Showcase, or should they just save it for The Last of Us Day / Outbreak Day? I think they should show it at the showcase. If this game, this multiplayer game that Naughty Dog's working on, is as big as, if it's as big as they've been making it sound and building it up to be, then I think it should be shown off at the showcase. It sounds like it's going to be a big deal. So if they save it for Outbreak Day, now that you mention it, that's actually, I think Outbreak Day is later in September, isn't it? I forget what day exactly. But I think it's after the event. Maybe that's what we could see. Yeah, I mean, that would make a lot of sense, actually. But either way, I hope we see it. Magnum Visuals are saying it's basic sales tactics, overprice something, then work a deal with a discount. If you think about it, Magnum Visuals, this is the most, maybe not the most effective way, but this kind of is a great way to just shoehorn in. By the way, you're going to have to pay $10 for the God of War and GT7 upgrades and any other cross-gen upgrade going forward. Okay, see ya. Like, if you think about it, that's the best way for Sony to do it, because it's like, we're listening to the community. We're doing what you asked. We are sorry. We messed up. By the way, please pay this $10. Like, it's really funny to witness, because it's like, it comes off that way, where we're just going to put it in there. You know what I mean? We're just going to put it in there. And to be fair, that's what we were asking for, man. We were like, Sony, can you just make it clear? Can you be consistent? And I'm glad, because Jim Ryan's like, okay, going forward, any cross-gen exclusive, $10. That's it. Okay? That's it. $10 upgrade. And so it's like, okay, thank you. Like, I'm not thanking you for letting me give you more money, but I'm just grateful that it's like, you listened and you gave us a clear path. Like, we know now, okay? So going forward, everybody should know, if you buy a cross-gen exclusive game, you buy it on PS4, excluding Horizon, you buy it on PS4, you want to upgrade, it's going to be $10. Now we know. Saying supporting price raises is dumb. I think it depends on how you're viewing it. I feel like it's dumb if you're just somebody who only sees things through the eyes of the consumer, and that's all you view it as, where it's like, obviously, as the consumer, you just want to save as much money as you can. In that case, yeah, if that's the only way you're viewing it and that's the only lens you're viewing it through, then yeah, I could see how it comes off as dumb. But I don't view it through just that lens. I view it through the lens of the consumer. I view it through the lens of the developer, or at least I try to view it through the lens of even the executives making the decision, in the eyes of Sony. And I try to basically make sense of it all and come to what I believe to be the most reasonable conclusion. That's what I try to do. I could just say, I'm a consumer, I want to save money. And yeah, I want to save money, but to me, it's just not that simple. You know what I mean? To me, that's just boring. You know what I mean? Because at that point, I'm just going to complain constantly. I have to pay this for that. I gotta pay. Why are they increasing the price? Why do I gotta pay for this? I don't want to pay for that. Like, it's just like I know I'm gonna pay for something. I want to know why I'm paying for it. I want to know where my money's going. Honestly, as somebody who wants to continue to see PlayStation thrive, I don't really feel too bad about giving Sony, my money, depending on what I'm giving them my money for, like supporting a game. Like when I bought Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, I was like, you know what? I feel totally secure in this because as far as I'm concerned, Sucker Punch earned this money, man. Like, they're giving me a whole new expansion. I will admit I was a little bit disappointed with the native PS5 version. It didn't look as good as I expected it to. But putting that aside, that's like the only negative I have. It was okay. I like this game. I want more games like this. If I'm going to put my money towards anything, you got to put your money where your mouth is what I'm trying to say. If you want to support, if you want more of the thing you like, you got to be willing to support it. If you don't, then don't, nobody's saying you have to. But I do want to make it known that doesn't mean that you should just say, I'll give you all the money you ask for. You got to use your brain. You got to use your common sense. So you're saying, MBG, you just said you talked about the push-pull dynamic between studios and consumers. Who are you pulling for by seeing it from their perspective? Well, it depends. Like, I don't care too much about Sony's profit margins, as in, like, I don't make a purchase for a game thinking this is going to help Sony break records for the shareholders. I don't do that. When I purchase a game, I think about, first of all, what this game is going to offer me, who's making this game, and just, where exactly am I putting my money? And if it just so happens that, Sony does break a record, whatever, I don't like that. I don't care about that. What I care about is, what's that? Ghost of Tsushima sold 6.5 million copies in like less than a year. That's awesome. And I feel great about putting my money there because I like Sucker Punch. I love the game that they created. And I felt that the money I gave them, I wanted to give them. I wanted to support them as a studio. That doesn't mean I'm ignorant to the fact that, Sony is trying to make a profit here. Not all the money goes just to Sucker Punch, but I don't know. It's a difficult thing. It's nuanced. Who am I pulling for? I don't know. When I see it from their perspective, I like to think I'm pulling for the developers, for the creators that are passionate, that are putting their heart and soul into what they're developing and trying their best to create something that I end up liking. That's what I feel like I'm pulling for. I don't look at it as like, hey, this is going to help Sony break some financial records. Like, I don't look at it like that. But I will admit, when I do see Sony kind of tout about like, this is how much money we've made and look at how successful we are, it does make me feel good in a sense, because it's like, well, I'm supporting what Sony does because I like what they do. So if they're being financially successful in doing this, then that means they're going to keep doing it and they're going to do more of it. It kind of goes like that. Smooth Legend, you're saying, I'm still waiting for an upgrade to Demon's Souls Digital Deluxe Edition. I had the physical copy bundled with my PS5. Was that a thing? You'll have to give me some more details on that. It's been a while. Kevin, you're saying, I get the Horizon Zero Dawn issue, but people are buying COD and the sports games at $70. AAA devs in this gen... AAA development in this gen starts at a $200 million budget for at least 20 hours of gameplay. Those from the cartridge era were paying $90 or less. Yeah, and that's the thing too. I feel like a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that fact. That's actually a really good point that I haven't brought up. And I'm not bringing this up to defend Sony. That's not what this is. It is a fact. Game development, specifically AAA game development, is more expensive than it ever has been. In fact, Shawn Layden recently just came out and was like, yeah, I'm pretty afraid for the future of Sony's exclusives because they're going to balloon in budget so high. And it's like, I know people don't want to hear this, but that's part of the reason, probably the main reason why Sony is charging $70, because it's just they have to put more money into the development of these AAA games, and they want to make a profit on them, and that's fine. And that's the way they're going to do it. And so as somebody who acknowledges this is why I'm saying it's not a big deal to me. Whiskey Gaming, you're saying folks want bigger / better games, but don't want to pay for the price increase. To make that happen, budget has to go up. Games have been $60 for years. People that complain about this truly get on my nerves. I mean, that's the thing, Whiskey Gaming, is that there are just things that they're just things that people don't want to acknowledge, and that's just one of them, man. If you want bigger and you want better, then you have to... Sorry, I'm just getting distracted. I was checking something. If you want bigger and you want better, you do have to be willing to pay for bigger and better. You can't just expect bigger and better and just expect that the money to produce something bigger and better to just come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? JDTV, you're saying something is still confusing on Jim Ryan's article from the PlayStation blog about the free upgrade. If you scroll down, it still says there is no dual entitlement. I'll have to look at that. If I had to guess, I think that's because what they mean is that the dual entitlement thing is just not going to be a thing going forward. Like, I think that was one of the things that people had a big problem with. It's like, what is dual entitlement? Dual entitlement is essentially a term that Sony was trying to use to basically say you're paying $40 for two versions of a game. 40 for the PS4 version, 40 for the PS5. To whereas I feel like if you look at what they said where you pay $10 for the upgrade, I think they're just trying to make it clear that they're not going to use that term dual entitlement. I think that's a good idea. That's my assumption. If I had to assume what that means, I think it just means that dual entitlement isn't a thing. I think what they're trying to say is like, we're just going to have an upgrade path and you pay $10 and you get the PS5 version or the PS5 upgrades. That's what I think. Cade Forever, you're saying Sony needs RPGs, right? Well, the former lead quest designer and creative director of CD Projekt Red is available. Check his LinkedIn. I can't read that name. I can't pronounce that name. But yeah, I don't know, man. Sony's probably always on the hunt for talent. Although I'm not sure. I don't know. Nothing against... No, I can't help it, but I'm just not... I don't care about CD Projekt Red. I don't know. As in Panda, you're saying people cannot complain about Sony's first-party $70 price tag when you have games like FIFA for $60 for the same game. Unfinished games should not be $70. And that's the thing, man, is like, this is where I get frustrated, where I feel like people need to give Sony a little bit of credit here, where Sony does work pretty hard to make sure that the overwhelming majority of their games are full, complete, content-packed products that are worth the money you're paying. They're not... I know people get like upset over like remasters and remakes sometimes, but outside of that, like, yeah, you're mentioning, sports games. You're mentioning, the fact that there's just games that are made that are unfinished. And it's like, yeah, like, I love how people have just basically looked at Bethesda games where it's like Bugthesda. Like, it's just expected and it's okay. It's part of the charm of the game. And I'm like, what the, no, I'm not a fan of that at all. I don't like the idea of like pay for this buggy game potentially. Luckily, you don't have to if you're on Xbox now. You can just do Game Pass. But like that to me, I'm just saying, man, it's not. You don't get that type of stuff with Sony's games. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me see, Chris B. You're saying people also seem to forget games get discounted. Don't want to pay $70. Wait a month or two. Yeah, dude, I have a friend that I talk to sometimes, and he recently just got Ratchet and Clank for like, I think 50, not even $40 or so. Actually, I think he said he found somebody who was selling, what was it? Returnal. I think he already owns Returnal. They were selling Returnal and Ratchet and Clank together. It was like a bundle that they were selling online. He paid like, he was asking $50 for it. He said he was going to buy the two games for $50. He was going to sell Returnal for like $25, and so he ended up in the end getting Ratchet and Clank for $25. And it's like he waited, you know, until he could make something like that happen. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's a great deal. Does it, like, for me, it's like I paid $70 for Ratchet and Clank, and I was okay with it. Like, I enjoyed it. I'm not feeling like, oh man, I wish I got Ratchet for 25, because I know that if I wanted to get Ratchet and Clank at 25 or cheaper, I could just wait. And that's true, you know? That's, I think, what people also need to realize. It's another good point where it's like, Sony's basically, look, you're going to pay, if you want to be part of the premium experience and you want to have that premium experience the day it drops or within like the month it drops, you know, you're going to have to pay for it. If you're willing to wait, and a lot of people aren't, but if you are, you can get cheaper games. That's just how it is. Thank you, Joshua, for the $5. Toxic Fanboy saying, why hate on Game Pass if y'all don't use it? I'm not hating on Game Pass. I'm just explaining, if anything, I'm explaining to you why I don't use it, like why it doesn't appeal to me. I don't know, I'm not trying to make it come off as hate. The only thing I hate about Game Pass is the fact that there are seemingly just all these fanboys online that want to use it as like ammunition to shoot at me and PlayStation fans, when it's like, dude, I don't care, man. Like, go play Game Pass, go enjoy it. I'll worry about what I got to worry about over here. You know what I mean? That's what I hate about Game Pass. I honestly don't have much against Game Pass. And the reason I say that is because Sony made it clear that they're not taking the Game Pass route. Sony made it clear that we cannot take the Game Pass route because we would go, not bankrupt, but like we wouldn't be able to make the games that we make. They're too expensive. It's not sustainable. That's what Jim Ryan said. That's what Sony said. And that's why they're sticking to the traditional route. So they can continue to grow their games and make them even bigger and better, like we talked about. Did you guys hear? Apparently, the next God of War game is going to have 40 hours. It's going to be a 40-hour long game. Like, holy hell, dude. That's insane. I'll pay 70 for that. You're going to tell me I pay $70, I get 40 hours of potentially the greatest game I ever play in my life? Possibly? Yeah, sign me up, man. No problem. You think you're going to get something like that in Game Pass? You're not. You're just not. I'm sorry. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, in Starfield, I could put thousands of hours. I'm talking about, like, story-driven, very tight, you know, like, series, you know what I'm saying? Two different games. That's what I'm trying to say. You're not going to get, in my opinion, you would never see a game like God of War, the upcoming God of War Ragnarok. I just don't think you would ever see a game like that launch in the Game Pass. I just don't, like, I think it wouldn't happen. I'll be shocked, dude, if a Microsoft studio ever produces a game that's going to be on the same level as Horizon and God of War, and they launch that into Game Pass, I would be pretty shocked. I would be, you know? I understand that some people are like, well, Starfield, and it's like, I mean, I think Starfield has the potential. I mean, you got Halo, you know, that's great. Forza, but putting Halo and Forza aside, I think Starfield has the potential to be like the first, if it's as good and as like massive as people expect it to be, that could be like, oh, wow, we got a game like this launched in the Game Pass. That's pretty big. It has the potential. I don't know yet. I will have to see. But I think it could be the first game that really just makes people go like, oh. So I guess Microsoft is serious about launching big games in the Game Pass, you know? Yeah, Starfield could do it. We have to see it first, though. You're saying Forza's not launching on Game Pass? Nah. You're lying. That's a lie. It is. It is launching on Game Pass. You're saying The Last of Us 2 is over 20 hours and that felt a little long. Yeah, that's the thing, dude. There are some times where you got to worry, like, is that too long? I think it depends. Like, the reason why I can agree with that. The Last of Us 2, it drug out a little bit longer than it needed to. See, that's the thing about some of these games. You got to be careful because it's like there is that line where you can cross it. It's like if a game starts to drag on for too long, it's almost like, okay, I feel like this should have ended like 5 to maybe 10 hours ago. You know what I mean? There has to hit a right balance. But I don't know, man. I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima right now, and I gotta admit, when I played First of Tsushima, when I played Ghost of Tsushima for the first time, I didn't really do much of the side stuff. I kind of did it here and there when it just like happened to pop up, but I was like pretty much mainlining the game. This time around, I'm doing the literal opposite. I'm doing the main story, obviously, but I'm doing every single side quest. I'm literally going out of my way to explore, and holy wow, dude, it's like I kind of can't believe how much stuff I missed the first time. And it's so crazy to me that I'm like, I think I spent like 40 hours rough. I'd have to check. I know I spent a lot of time playing Ghost of Tsushima. And to think I just missed all of this content and I just like went past it all. And I said, oh, I'm going to go back to it. And I like never did. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start the game over. But it's like, yeah, dude, I just don't think you're going to get a game. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe Starfield could be that game. But as of right now, I have yet to see a game like Ghost of Tsushima, like God of War, even like The Last of Us 2. I have yet to see a game like that launch in the Game Pass. And that's why I do believe Sony when they're like, we literally can't do this. We literally can't do this. We wouldn't be able to make games like this. We would have to alter the way we make games. I believe it, Anyway, I got a few more super chats here. Christopher, you're saying games have been $60 since 2005. 9F adjusted for inflation, they would be $80+. So people need to chill. It's a business. They need to make a profit. That's true too. I think a lot of times we don't talk about the inflation aspect and how, yeah, they probably should be more, honestly speaking, but they're not. Actually, I've heard Colin Moriarty talk about that multiple times where he's saying he thought, Colin Moriarty said that he actually thought PlayStation was going to make their games $80, and he was a little bit surprised that they didn't, considering how much they cost to make. And I'm like, that's interesting to me. Matron Lars, you're saying, does cross-gen truly feel next-gen? Big system update at Showcase. Can UE5 make more people believe PS5 games are next-gen? PS Now expansion reveal. Yeah, I think all of this stuff I think has a potential to be there. I'm not so sure about the Unreal Engine 5 thing. We'll have to see. I don't know how many games are going to be there that are using Unreal Engine 5. A big system update. I don't think Sony would reveal that at a showcase. I think that they would have like a blog post or maybe a video accompanied with the showcase. PlayStation Now expansion. I don't know. Again, I don't know that that's something that shows up at the showcase. JDTV, you're saying, please check the article, MBG. It still says that dual entitlement doesn't apply to the standard special edition. Could you check quickly, please? Give me 1 second. I could just bring it up real quick. I have it right in front of me. I should have it right in front of me. You're saying dual entitlement doesn't apply. All right, so I'm on the article now. Just read it word for word. I'm looking here. Actually, I'm gonna. Is it in the Jim Ryan quote? That's what I want to know. I'm not seeing it. I'm scrolling through the part now where they list all the stuff that they have. Please note. Okay. Oh. Okay, hold on. This is interesting. All right. I actually didn't see this part. Okay. For players looking to have access to both the PS4 and PS5 versions of Horizon Forbidden West, please purchase the Digital Deluxe Collectors or Regala editions. Dual entitlement does not apply to the standard and special editions. Okay, so I think I know what's going on here. And it's a little bit weird if I'm correct, but I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure that this is just what I just read. That's the original post. Because I don't know why Sony did this. Maybe they did this to try to not, make it seem like less of a big deal. The Jim Ryan part where he says we're giving you the free upgrade, that's on top of the original post. So I would disregard that. It is a little weird to me that they didn't like delete that. I mean, maybe they want to keep it there to make people aware that like, hey, we're the good guys. We could have done it this way, but we didn't. It is weird that they still have it there, but the way I'm reading it is that's the original post. So actually, I understand why now you're basically saying like, this means so. Yeah, disregard that. That doesn't apply anymore. You just need to pay attention to the part where the Jim Ryan paragraph or excerpt. That's the part you want to pay attention to. Christopher, again, you're saying also side note, no one should buy the PS5 version of Forbidden West. Buy the $60 PS4 version to get the free upgrade, LOL. Yeah, I mean, it's like if you, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. That's what's crazy about this to me is Sony, I feel like they want it very badly to come out and be like, you got to pay $10 for the Horizon upgrade, but they know they can't do that because you literally said you would give it for free. You would be a liar. And that's not good. That's the worst PR you could have. You don't want your consumers to look at you as a liar and they can't trust you. And the amount of people that basically, as I said earlier, Sony decided we're going to sell Horizon Forbidden West at $60. That's like basically what they said, because you could buy it for $60 digitally, you could buy it for $60 physically, and you can get your free upgrade and you save that $10. And that's $10 more that Sony's not getting. So that's why I tried to say yesterday, this is a big deal, man, it's a big deal that they said they were going to give the upgrade out for free originally, and it's a big deal that they're deciding to stick with it because people, I think, don't understand, like, they just lost a lot of money, they just lost a lot of money. So and I think Sony's aware of that. I'm sure they're well aware of that. Drive by Joe, thank you so much. You're saying number one fan. Thank you for the donation, buddy. Stu, you're saying, I wish more people were vocal about Horizon's no disc collector set that is getting swept under the rug, even though entitlement isn't a thing now. Yeah, I got to admit, man, it's difficult for me to kind of really come out here and talk about that too much because I'm not getting the collector's edition. But I will say it's really strange that they're not offering a physical disc. I feel like they should. It's a collector's edition. Collectors are buying it, B Flesher, you're saying, MBG, you should try to get a Series X and just try Game Pass during the holiday when not a ton of Sony stuff is happening. So much you should try. I'll have to think about it, man. We'll have to see. I don't know that I'm going to buy a Series X anytime soon. It's just, it doesn't appeal to me, man. I know you're saying like there's a lot of stuff I'm missing, but I don't know. I look at what is on offer and I just feel like I already have so much to play with PlayStation that it's difficult. It's not like I'm not one of these people where I feel like I'm really looking for something to play. I'm itching for something new to play. Dude, I feel like ever since I went to PlayStation, but specifically ever since I got a PS5 and even with the PS4, it's just, I've never not had something to play. You know what I mean? And the things that I've been playing, I'm more than satisfied with most of the time. Not every time, but most of the time. You know what I mean? So if there's like a huge lull period with Sony, like a massive one, there's like a drought or something, maybe then. And if Xbox has like a bunch of if Xbox has a bunch of games coming out at a time when Sony's just not doing anything, then maybe, sure, yeah. But all right, guys, I think that might be all I have for you today. I know that there were 2 topics I said I would go over, but frankly, my voice is starting to give out, and I got to make sure that I can keep the vocal cords healthy, the throat healthy for, what's weird is like, that's a thing I just didn't expect is like, I noticed the more I stream, I've been streaming more this year than ever before. Man, like I talk a lot, as you can tell, and my voice always starts to go a little bit. And yeah, I gotta take care of that. Got a big stream coming up this Thursday, so I'll just end it here. I think those are some solid topics we discussed. We went over the event. which we'll obviously continue to talk about. We went over the new studio that Sony's apparently developing right now or building, and we talked about the whole Horizon thing. So, Siler again, thank you, buddy. You're saying vast majority of games on Game Pass are around 2 to 3 years old, and most have played these games already. Something like The Ascent just isn't appealing to me. Yeah, that's the thing. I saw people talking about The Ascent, and I'm like, it's nothing against the game. It's just, again, like, I'm too engrossed in what I'm playing on my PS5. Like, I just couldn't be bothered right now, you know? If I was looking for something new to play and I was, like, actively looking and I'm like, I have nothing to play, maybe it would speak to me differently, but that's just how it is right now, you know? Frankly, I'm not even too familiar with The Ascent. I just know that it's apparently it's an Xbox exclusive or something. So, yeah, you know, I'm trying to get away from the fanboy console war stuff, because the reason being is anytime I try to have a decent conversation, again, it's just a hyperbole. Everybody wants to make things bigger than they are. They want to over exaggerate. And I know I've been guilty of this as well. Phoenix, you said I missed your super chat. Let me check here. I don't think so, man. Did I? Scrolling through it now. How long ago did you super chat, man? Because I'm like way back here. And I don't see it. Phoenix, if you want to just tell me in the chat regularly what you said, just type it out. I'd be happy to read it, but I don't see a super chat, man. But yeah, I gotta tell you guys, I'm trying to get away from the whole fanboy console war stuff, because it's like, what I've learned is you just can't have decent conversations. You just can't. Like, it's funny to me how people, and this is just the last thing I'll say before I end the podcast, people will try so desperately oh, Christopher, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, I did miss yours. Christopher, you're saying, I want the Regala edition, but refuse to buy it because there is no disc. Like, what's the point of a steelbook with no disc? Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is the point of a steelbook with no disc? For the other guy, though, I don't know why maybe his super chat isn't showing up. But yeah, I just wanted to say real quick before I sign off, guys, that I can't stand that people will do, like, they will twist what you say and try to use it against you as ammunition, like, to the nth degree, where it's like, I don't even deny that there are times where I'm hypocritical. You know, I've always said human beings, you know, we all have a tendency to be hypocritical at some point, at one point or another. It's human nature to sometimes be that way, but we are going to try to be better. And I just feel like, you know, it's just not worth it, man. You know, it's not worth it. That's why I'm so happy that Sony reversed this decision and did the right thing, because now we can be totally focused on the upcoming event, and all of our attention can be squarely focused on the thing that it should be focused on, which is being excited for the event, being excited for the new announcements, and being excited for the games. You know, I know you guys are asking for the Project Magnum live reaction. I apologize. Maybe I'll do a dedicated reaction video, or the next time we stream. Unfortunately, I'm drained at this point, man. I got to go get something to eat. My throat is killing me at this point. So, yeah, I got to make sure I don't, you know, mess myself up before the stream happens, you know, the big event stream. So, with that being said, guys, I want to say thank you to you guys for hanging out with me. Please hit the like button. We crushed it today, 1,100 likes, over 1,100 likes, which is awesome. So hit the like button on your way out. If you want, come back, leave a comment. That helps get the podcast out there as well. But I had to extend a huge thank you to every single one of you who donated as a super chat. Again, as you see with my pinned comment, donating a super chat helps support the channel directly. It allows me to continue to do what I do here. And, yeah, I really appreciate it. It goes a very long way. Huge shout out once again to all of my channel members. Had to give a huge shout out to Devil Shooter, who every week consistently does the in-depth timestamps for the podcast. He does it for us, the community. So everybody show some love to Devil Shooter. Issue a big thank you to him for doing that. And yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. I'm going to hop off now, and we'll see what. We'll see. I guess the very last thing I want to say is we will see if anything interesting comes out or pops up between now and the event. Is Blue Box going to do something crazy? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Or am I? I don't know. All right, guys. With that being said, I'll catch you all later. Till next time, guys. Take care.